about today. This is one of those days, I mean, 2 assassination attempts, 2 months apart. This is insanity. Here we go. 5 seconds.
Estimates given on the phone, work done in days, not weeks, easier than ordering a pizza.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome to the program. It is Monday, September 16th. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Welcome, one and all. And obviously, we've got a lot to talk about. The second assassination attempt on President Trump in 2 months. And it looks like they caught the guy quite by accident. We're going to talk about all this. I'm going to go through all the details. And, this happened right down the street from the radio station. I drive by there pretty much every day, depending on which way I take to or from the radio station. I am going to give a disclaimer, though, to the listening audience that I had to give 2 months ago when they shot Trump. I want to take your calls throughout the day on this topic. And there's a lot to say, believe me. But be cool, okay? And in control of yourself, and do not be inappropriate, if you know what I mean. I don't think, I have to do that disclaimer because, these are the times in which we are in. So be cool and careful with what you say. And I know that people are frustrated and angry, and I get it because I am too. I'm in a little bit of shock. It's still hard for me to believe that this has happened again. This, the Secret Service agent who fired, and no, he didn't hit because he got away, fired at the golf course assassin. That's what I'm not going to say these people's names, okay? The golf course assassin is how I'm going to refer to him, or the Democrat donor golf course assassin, because the last assassin had donated to Democrats too. But this guy is deep in it. We know a lot about him, and we'll get into all of this. But in the last 2 months, we've had 2 assassination attempts on President Trump, and the Secret Service have had to fire their weapons in both instances. This is the only time, these 2 instances are the only time in anyone's lifetime that the Secret Service has used their weapons and fired their weapons defending a president off of the White House grounds. By the way, Mike, the phones are down. It's not a good day for the phones to be down. I got a lot to say, but the phones are down. I'm looking at the phones. They're not working. So those of you calling in and I'm not answering, that is why. Our entire internet is out. So I don't even know if we're on the air, on the radio. I don't know. The entire internet and everything is down here at the radio station. Boy, oh boy. I'm still streaming online. I know that on YouTube and everything. But this is one of those days. That's crazy. Because I don't believe in coincidences. But this is the first time in any of our lifetimes that the Secret Service have used their weapons in defense of a president off of the White House grounds. And it's happened twice with President Trump. There have been incidents on the White House grounds. Okay? The closest, although this is still White House property, there was an assassination attempt on President Truman, and he was staying at the Blair House because the White House was being remodeled, which is across the street from the White House. By the way, the phones are back up and running. The internet is reconnected. So, thank you for taking care of that. And there was a Secret Service officer killed, and there was a shootout with the Puerto Rican independent nationalist. But the Blair House is still White House grounds. When President Reagan was shot in 1981, which was the first assassination attempt on President, I mean, that was the last assassination attempt before Trump's 2 months ago, the Secret Service drew their weapons but did not fire them at John Hinckley. They got him. When President Kennedy was shot by Lee Harvey Oswald and whoever else was there, the Secret Service did not fire their weapons. So, what's going on here? This golf course assassin is deep, deep, deep into the Democrat world. Don't let them tell you he's a disillusioned Trump voter. They've got one tweet that he mentioned he voted for Trump in 2016, which we don't know if that's true, but I do know this. He's donated to the Democrats 19 times that I know of, according to the latest reporting. But it's more than just being a Democrat donor, this golf course assassin. He is very involved in deep state politics connected to Ukraine. Now, his social media has been wiped clean now, but before it was, a lot of people went to his Twitter and took screenshots of everything. And this guy was very active on social media. People got his Facebook too, but that was shut down real quick. So we have learned a tremendous amount, not from these ridiculous press conferences that have told us nothing, but from internet sleuths going through the golf course assassin's Twitter. He had a photograph of himself in front of the Capitol building and then in Kiev, in Ukraine. He has traveled to Ukraine. He has been and met with officials over there. I know some of you may have seen that interview that Newsweek publicized online of him over in Kiev, but he was very involved, this guy, in recruiting mercenaries to fight in Ukraine. American mercenaries, Afghan mercenaries, and others. So this guy is deep, deep, deep connected. How deep, we don't know. Who's he connected with, we don't know. And no one seems to be asking the right questions. It appears that he may have met with members of Congress. Who did he meet with in Congress? Who did he meet with in Washington? And furthermore, how did he get to Ukraine and meet with officials over there? Ukraine's a war zone. I just can't go over to the Palm Beach or Miami Airport or Fort Lauderdale Airport and buy a ticket on Delta to Kiev. There's a process that Americans have to go through to get into these war zones. It's not easy. How did he end up over there? How did he get the clearance to go? How did he meet with officials? There's endless questions about this. But I'm going to take our first break, and when we get back, I'm going to talk about specifically what happened yesterday and all the details surrounding yesterday. Now, if you are welcome to call in, and I do want to hear all of your thoughts on everything that's happening. But I want to tell you, be cool and watch yourself, okay? You know what I mean. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's 14 minutes after the hour. It's Monday morning. I'm Brian Craig. We'll break and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the...
All right, when you were out, all the internet went out, including the phones. It's back now, but I don't know if everything's back up and running. The phones are working. Yeah.
The team viewers connect and all that, so I think
Okay.
it's
Okay.
The for sure thing I know if the internet stays out is if I get disconnected.
Yeah, that was out too. Everything went out, but it's back, and the phones are back working. But
Machine room is going on.
yeah, it cleared out my foam board, and then it was like dead. Okay.
I'll keep an eye on it too now.
Okay. Now, guys, I put a link to a GoFundMe from Deborah. Deborah has called the show several times about her GoFundMe, and she's asked me to promote it. She was, I guess, she couldn't figure out how to email or DM it to me, and she's in a pretty desperate situation. She's behind on her mortgage. She's a grandmother. She actually went to the trouble of she printed it out and then mailed it to me here at the radio station. So, yeah. So she's, and it took some effort for her to print this out, get the address. She mailed it to me here, and she's in a pretty desperate situation. So I put a link to her GoFundMe. It's both in the description of the video, Help Deborah, and I also pinned it to the top of the live chat. So if you can, help Deborah, please do. She's a grandmother. She is behind on her mortgage payments, and she's trying to save her home so she has a place to live. It's, so if you can help, please do. All right, welcome back. Callers on hold, stand by. I want to go over the events of yesterday with the latest Trump assassin, because this is craziness. But before I do that, I got a message over the weekend from Mike Lindell himself. There is a major blowout sale going on at MyPillow.com. This is on the original MyPillow that started it all. Okay, this is the lowest price ever. This is for a limited time. You can get the MyPillow that started it all for just $14.95. That is a $35 off price, just $14.95 with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. Now, this is a special blowout sale that is not available to everyone at the MyPillow website. So you have to actually go to our personal MyPillow website, which I don't usually give out, but I'm going to give it out now because of this special. MyPillow.com/Kane, K-A-N-E. MyPillow.com/Kane, K-A-N-E. And when you use our promo code KANE at checkout, you can get the original MyPillow during this blowout sale for just $14.95 with our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout. So again, you go to MyPillow.com/Kane, and you'll see it right there on the left side. This is the lowest price ever. And you can buy just one, but you can buy no more than 10. So my wife and I, we loaded up over the weekend because, Christmas shopping. So it's a great time to do that. Just $14.95 during the blowout sale. Good deal. Okay, now I want to go through what happened yesterday. Those of you on hold, stand by. First of all, President Trump's golf game yesterday was not on his public schedule. It was not on his public schedule. So how did this guy know that President Trump was going to be at the golf course? That's right. Now, I know some people may say, and I've seen people say this already, well, the motorcade he golfs every day, the motorcade. Couple things. Number one, President Trump is not the only person that leaves Mar-a-Lago under Secret Service motorcade protection. And when he does, you don't know where he's going if it's not on his public schedule. He could be going to the airport and getting on his plane and going to a campaign event, a fundraiser, or just to another one of his homes. All right? This guy had insider knowledge from someone that President Trump was going to be at the golf course. Now, I know this area, and I know a lot of people here know the area. Okay. you've seen the videos, you've seen the photographs. He was between 300 and 500 yards away from the president with an AK-47 with a scope on it. He had 2 backpacks, you keep hearing. Inside those backpacks were ceramic tiles. And he had them set up on the fence to use as a little bit of protection if he got involved in a gunfight. This area where the golf course is, you can't park on the street there. He had to park somewhere else, across the street somewhere. This guy walked across the street with 2 big backpacks and an AK-47. Even if the AK was concealed in something, it looks like what it is. He wouldn't be walking across the street with a guitar. It looks like what it is. How did he get across the street on a Sunday in broad daylight with a rifle like that? There's a lot of questions here. The golf course, you cannot see the golf course from the road. In fact, a lot of people who live here do not know that that's Trump's golf course. Most people know, but not everyone knows because it's obscured between the bushes and they're high trees. They're high bushes. They're not like shrubs. How did he know where to be to wait for President Trump? How did he know this? How did he know that President Trump was coming and he was in the right spot? You know, the Secret Service man that took him out saw the rifle butt come through the chain link fence. Did he already have a line of sight? Could he already see President Trump? Was he taking aim? Or was someone communicating with him, telling him he was coming around? When did he get there? Did he get there right before everything went down, or was he there for hours before? Where exactly was his vehicle parked? Now, when this first happened yesterday, I immediately got alerts, and this is a local story too because it's here. This is right down the street from the radio station. I'm going to go when this cools down. I'm going to go over and do a walk through the area on YouTube. I'm not going to do it now. They've asked that we don't go over there, and it's a crime scene. So I'm not going to go over there till things cool off. And we know more specifics about where his car was and everything, and I'm going to walk through it. You can't just park your car on the street. There's not parking spaces there. They'd get you. So how long was he there? How did he know Trump was golfing? All that. We need to know all this stuff. He doesn't live here. Whose car was that? Who was he staying with? Now, when this first broke that there were shots, they immediately tried to make it a gangbanger thing. Now, there are some areas of West Palm Beach that are pretty dangerous, I'm here to tell you. But not where Trump's golf course is. It's just south of the airport a little ways, and it's very upscale area where Trump's golf course is. And they made it sound as if it was a gun battle between 2 gangbangers. I knew immediately that was complete BS, and if they went with that narrative, I would not have believed it. But now we know that that was completely false. Did he get any shots off, or was it only the Secret Service man who got shots off? I've heard some say the Secret Service will not fire first. I don't know. We don't know what happened. Where was his car parked? Now, when this first report came that they got him, the first report was a Secret Service drone caught his car, and that's how they identified it. Well, that's not what happened, we now know. A pedestrian, a regular person, a civilian saw him and thought enough to take out their phone and take a photograph of his license plate and gave it to the deputies. He was caught really quite by accident. Now, the sheriff of Palm Beach County, Rick Bradshaw, who I believe is up for re-election, he's been sheriff for a long, long time. He said they had the license plate, and when he crossed the county line to Martin County, hear me talk about MAGA Martin County all the time. Martin County is the county just north of Palm Beach County. That they registered his license plate on one of the cameras when he crossed the county line. I don't know what mile marker they got him on, but from what I can see, I kind of know where that is. I drive there all the time through there. When he left, was he driving at a normal rate of speed to not stand out, or was he driving like a bat out of hell? We don't know. But the area that they got him, which I can only guesstimate because I don't have the mile marker and I can only go by visual, and what I recognize are in the middle of I-95, those trees there. It's like a big enough area to build a rest stop kind of thing you see on the road sometimes, and I know where that is. From the golf course, and I stand to be corrected, but that's about a 20 or 30-minute drive to where that is. Did they catch him by accident? Where was he going? Why did he head north and not south? Where was he going? Was he going to one of the small airports in Martin County? Was he going to someone's house, a dock, a marina, and getting on a boat? I don't know. I didn't hear any of this asked in any of the press conferences with these idiotic, stupid reporters yesterday. Did they catch him by accident? If this witness did not photograph his license plate, how far would he have gotten? Or would he have gotten away? You could be at a normal rate of speed. He could have been in Georgia in just a few hours on I-95. Okay? To me, it looks like they got him by accident. And who's behind this? Well, he's obviously a deep state guy. He didn't end up in Kiev meeting with officials over there, recruiting mercenaries to fight for Ukraine against Russia without having connections. That's impossible. You just can't go over there and do that. Is Ukraine behind this? Because they're afraid of Trump? By the way, you Democrats out there, you still want to stick to that Kamala's won the debate and is ahead in the polls? If Kamala had won the debate and was ahead in the polls, would this have happened yesterday? I don't think so. A bunch of new polls came out Friday and Saturday, and Trump is not just ahead, he's ahead by light years. So these are just some questions. There's many, many more. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our bottom of the hour break. I will take the calls, and I want to tell you guys, be cool on the phones, okay? You know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't have to say any more than that. And we're going to have a zero-tolerance policy for those who violate that right quick. All right, our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. My name is Brian Craig. We're going to take our bottom of the hour break and be right back.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey guys, I see some of you have already donated to Deborah. Thank you guys. Deborah is a listener. She's called me a couple times on the air to ask me to promote her GoFundMe. And I asked her to DM it to me, email it to me. She couldn't figure out how to do it. She actually mailed it to me. I mean, she went and found the radio station address. She sent it to me here. She printed it out. And she's in a very desperate state. She's a grandmother. She's behind on her mortgage. And she's asking for help. So the link to her GoFundMe is both in the description of the video and I did pin it in the chat as well. So those of you that are already helped, thank you. for doing that.
Visit allyearcooling.com to
All
schedule
right.
your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
I have to use this phone again. Looks like the phone in their screen blacked out again.
Oh, okay. So who do we have other than Youngerman?
Oh, no, that's it. Just
Okay, and Joe's coming in Wednesday.
correct.
Okay.
So we just have Youngerman today. And then, yeah.
Well, did you reset the phone because
Yeah.
because the internet went? Oh, they haven't replaced it yet. Okay.
It was fine last week. Like the screen came back, but
Okay.
it was like on its last leg
Uh huh.
again.
Okay.
I tried resetting. I tried unplugging it, plugging it back in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not cooperating.
Okay.
It comes back on before 7:30, and I'll see it. But
Well, at 7:30, I mean, we'll be in a break, so we can check.
just make sure. Yeah.
We got to try to keep the line free.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully with that
Mhm.
spot, it should stay.
If you're on hold, hang in there.
So stop by Nutrition World at the northeast corner of PJ Boulevard and Prosperity Farms Road in the Carmines Market Plaza by the Prosperity entrance. You can call us or text us anytime at 561-626-4377. That's 626-4377.
I have that one commercial I need to record for My Pillow. Can you record it and edit it for me and give it to Mike? Okay, I'll do it like maybe at 8:30 or maybe after the show. Yeah, I was going to do it at 7:30, but I don't want to do it when I got to get ready for him. But okay.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, it's just a short, like 20-second spot. Okay.
The best customers we have ever had. They are courteous, intelligent, honest, and quite a joy to work with. We have completed thousands of projects for the listeners from
I got to record a commercial for My Pillow. I'm going to do it during one of the breaks.
success, and every one of those customers are like family.
By the way, those of you that have already helped Deborah, thank you guys so much for doing that.
Standing metal seam, slate tile, and flat.
And when you go there, you can read the whole, she gives all the details. And you know, she's in the chat pretty much every day, isn't she?
954-604-4602, or find us on the web at laportacontracting.com.
You know, I don't promote those too often. You know, when people reach out to me, you know, they're not always in such a desperate situation, but Deborah certainly is.
On both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
Here we go.
Steve Kane Show.
All right, President Trump has survived a second assassination attempt right down the street from the radio station yesterday. I mean, this just is insane to me. Now, I'm going to go to the phones. And remember, this was not on Trump's official schedule. How did he know? And how did he know where to be? And how did he walk? You know, that street from where, I don't know exactly yet where he parked. But again, when this is all cooled off and we know all the details, I'm going to go over there and make a detailed video about this for YouTube. But I'm not going to go there. It's a crime scene now. They asked people not to. I'm not going to go there until it's all done and settled over there. I don't want to interfere with what they're doing. This is important stuff. I'm a little concerned, though. I watched the press conference yesterday. First of all, the Secret Service agent had this heavy accent. What the hell? You know? And the FBI Miami Bureau guy is in charge of the investigation. The Miami Bureau of the FBI are the ones that broke into Mar-a-Lago with the safecracker, with that phony documents case. That's who's in charge? The state's attorney, he's a Democrat. DeSantis says he's going to open an investigation. Well, he's another Trump hater. And there's all this talk about, you know, what Trump should do for security. I heard some guy on Fox say hire ex-military. Nothing against ex-military. They're not trained in this. President Trump needs to hire a private security firm from Israel. If you want security, you go to the Israelis. Do you know, I was talking about that problem I was having with these stalkers for the cruise. Do you know what I'm doing for? I'm not supposed to be telling you this, but I'm going to tell you. They got Israeli security on the ship that are going to make sure, you know, that my stalkers are in check. You got the Israelis, you don't have a worry in the world. That's who he needs. Not these clowns. And I'll tell you, the Secret Service guy that came out in that press conference, reading from a paper, at such a time, with his accent, it was hard to understand what he was saying some of the time. I didn't hear any concern. I didn't hear any emotion. Their protectee has been shot, and there was another assassin 2 months apart. Almost to the day, like 1 day after 2 months. 2 months and a day. And he came up there with no emotion. I'll tell you another thing. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. If Kamala Harris were smart, and she's not, she's a bird brain, Kamala Harris would come out and she'd be pissed off like I am and you are. And demand answers. Not this cackling, there's no place for violence in our... Okay, thank you for the generic corporate statement. When this broke yesterday, and you first heard there was shooting, and they were still going with the gangbangers, on a Sunday afternoon at 1:30 in the afternoon in front of Trump's beautiful golf course. This place is beautiful. He has mentioned this on the air, so I can share it with you. Joe Thomas's daughter recently got married there. This is a beautiful place. It's not a place where gangbangers, when there's deputies all over the place because the president's there, get involved in shootouts on Sunday afternoons during the daytime with AK-47s. I knew exactly what it was. And I'm watching Arthel Neville on Fox when she finally got around to it, and she was trying to excuse it. I turn over to MSNBC, and they were annoyed. CNN, a similar thing. Annoyed. One, that, they got the guy probably, and two, that it makes him more sympathetic. Let me just go to the phones. Again, be cool on the phones, people. You know exactly what I mean. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. I'm glad I'm the first one up here.
Oh.
First of all, Brian, this was a botched job. I'm sure whoever was behind this guy expected not to be a botched job. This guy, to me, was hired as a useful idiot. He has to have been hired. First of all, he's a construction worker, okay? Worker. He came from Hawaii. He flew to Warsaw to go into...
Yeah.
It costs money to go from Hawaii to Warsaw, and then all this money that is costing him.
Well, first he went to D.C. He went to D.C., and who he met with there, we don't know. And we don't know exactly who he met with in Kiev either. But you don't go from Hawaii to D.C. to Warsaw to Kiev if you're not going through the State Department or a government agency. You just can't go there. It's a war zone.
No. And you're also not doing it by yourself. You have to have somebody behind you, an organization or something. The guy got caught. Well, it was an AK-47, which is a Russian-made weapon. Those were probably plates to protect from gunshots. I mean, that was obvious as hell.
Yeah.
Proof plates.
And this thing about the GoPro, his GoPro. What I'm curious about, obviously, he wanted to film his moment. But did he film himself throughout the day in his process? On the SD card in that GoPro, are we going to see his process and what he was doing throughout the day?
My concern right now is we all are concerned for the safety of President Trump. But my concern is I don't want to see another Lee Harvey Oswald here or another Jeffrey Epstein here. All of a sudden, everything is quieted. I mean, his social media. First of all, he said basically all the talking points are Democrats. Democracy is at risk.
Well, this is what happened. How many? I'm a big science fiction fan. I've seen probably every science fiction movie ever made almost, and I really like time travel movies. How many movies have you seen of someone going back in time killing Hitler? I mean, they've even had Twilight Zone episodes where a woman went back in time and became his nanny and was good and would killed him when he was an infant, right? If you killed Hitler before he killed anybody, are you really a murderer or have you done something? They tell these patsies that he's Hitler, and they think they're heroes. They're going after Hitler. I think they caught him by accident, and I think he lived by accident.
And I think that he was recruited, and that wasn't an accident.
Well, by who? Was he recruited by our deep state? Was he recruited by Ukraine, or both?
Well, there's such a major thing that's happened. The most major thing happened yesterday with President Trump. You brought up a question about the polls with Kamala Harris, and did she really win the debate? I find out yesterday that affidavit that was signed by that whistleblower was signed before the debate, and it was given to our, I know you know that because you're.
Yeah.
It was signed ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
The Trump committee knew they knew that the Democrats were cheating on this.
Yeah, that the ABC knew they got busted with the affidavit. Yeah.
That affidavit was given to Mike Johnson.
Well, this is what I want from Mike Johnson. I want to know who the golf course assassin in Congress met with. I want to know what congressmen he met with and what staffers he met with. He put a photograph of himself in a suit and tie in front of the Capitol building before he went to Kiev. Okay, so he didn't just go there to go on a tour.
Hey, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to risk. I'm not one of these guys that think about all conspiracy crap. This is a conspiracy. He was actually hired by somebody within the United States government.
Yeah. No. Everybody believes that, Richie, just like the first guy. But this guy's just a little deeper because he was out recruiting American and Afghans as mercenaries to fight for Ukraine. So we got more information.
Thank God for X, because they're trying to whitewash his whole social media again. Why do they do that? Why do they do that for?
Well, eventually the government comes in with a court order to do it, but Elon Musk left it up there long enough that his entire social media has been recorded. Listen, if Elon Musk had not bought Twitter, all these things we're talking about we wouldn't know about. It all went through Twitter yesterday. And it took them forever to get to it on the news. This is insane.
But I'm worried about his safety now. You think that Hey, listen, I watched Jack Ruby get blown up.
Yeah.
See anything happen here? He has to spill his guts. If he keeps quiet, he's at risk for himself. He's up like a. Well,
this guy is a true believer. You know, if you watch the videos we've seen of him. This guy is a true believer, and I think I think he wants to. I think he very much would like to sing like a canary, at least to a certain extent. I don't know if he'll implicate anyone else, but he wants credit for this because he thinks he's America's greatest hero today. He just failed.
No, Ukraine, brother. Ukraine and Trump. That Trump wants to pull out, and this guy wants to stay there.
Well, it's not that Trump wants to pull out. He wants to have peace. He wants to end the war. And they don't want to end the war.
They don't want to end the war, and this guy was recruited, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
He's been.
And you know where they got him. He was about 20 or 30 minutes away from the golf course where they got him. And I have not heard a single report about if he was driving fast or normal that's not stand out, where he was staying prior to this, because he doesn't live here, whose vehicle was that, and where was he going? You know, there's a lot of small airports. You know, when you get north of Palm Beach and Martin County and above, like, you know, where Richie's at and stuff, there's a lot of small airports. There's guys that have airplanes in their yards, and there's only about 50 million boats that you could take to the Bahamas easily from there. Remember, we're just 50 miles from the Bahamas, you know, by boat, and people go to the Bahamas on jet skis from here, okay? I would not recommend that. They shouldn't do, but you can. So where was he going? And I'm curious about, the reason I'm asking about the speed is because I'm curious. I think he felt like he was free, that he had gotten away. He did, you know, and the pedestrian getting the license plate was an accident.
Yeah, and the last thing I'm going to say to you, because I know you're a little over, who supplied him with all this money to go all over the place, and who supplied him? Where did he, like you said?
And don't be confused because he lives in Hawaii, he's rich. Not everybody in Hawaii is rich. There's a lot of poverty there.
Where's the money? Follow the money. You will find out that somebody has been paying for all this.
Mm-hmm. All right, Richie, I got to run. Take care now. I want to tell you as we go into the break. I kind of found out about this quite by accident. Well, I found out about it. I hadn't thought about it. And I'm talking about Lighthouse Medical and their treatment for neuropathy. Because last week we updated our commercials and such, and we're running one with Steve. And it's not a new commercial. It's a commercial that we recorded long ago that we really haven't run. And it's when he talked about and it's great how they rid him of his neuropathy. And I didn't realize that commercial is at least 2 years old. And I really think it's over 2 years old because I remember recording it. Steve was not only rid of his neuropathy symptoms, but it's been over 2 years and they're still gone. So if you or someone you know or love have neuropathy, this is an amazing treatment they have at Lighthouse Medical. Give them a call. Remember, I mentioned you heard about them on the radio so you could take advantage of the no-charge consultation. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back. All right. Again, those of you that have donated to Deborah's GoFundMe already, thank you so much. And listen, those of you that have donated, I don't want to call people out because sometimes people don't want people to know. But if you want to give a mention that you gave in the chat, please do. She's in our chat room every day. She's very behind on her mortgage. She's asking for your help. There's a link pinned in the chat, but also in the description. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. We're talking about the second assassination attempt against President Trump yesterday. And did you see the reaction of the left? I'm going to play some of that later. That Lester Holt was just disgusting. Vindman's wife. I don't know which one. Is it the Vindman that ratted him out, or is it the twin brother? And let me tell you, Vindman's wife, who came out and said no ears were damaged or something this time, some stupid comment. This golf course assassin is so in bed with Ukraine, it's insane. He's over there recruiting mercenaries from the United States and Afghanistan. Who has contacts to Afghans to recruit them to be mercenaries in Afghanistan? The golf course assassin here in Palm Beach did. His whole life was about Ukraine. Remember, Vindman is from Ukraine. It was the Soviet Union then. That's where his family's from, and he was a baby when they came here. But Vindman was born in Ukraine. Remember, the Ukrainians offered him to be the general of their military? Remember that? No, that was our guy. Was that Vindman? Yeah, it was Vindman. They offered him to make him a general in charge of their military. That's right. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Dave in Virginia.
Hey, Dave. What's up, Dave?
Well, I believe the only safe person that would watch this guy while he's in jail would be someone like John Bon Jovi.
John Bon Jovi. All right, thank you for your call. John Bon Jovi. Are you high? You're on the radio. It's not time for funniness, okay, from you people. You're on the air. What's your name?
This is Fred from Florida.
Yeah.
You had a thing last night on your live, had a recording of this shooter talking to a guy.
In Kiev. Yeah, in Kiev, yeah.
Yeah. And that guy had to me, the guy had an odd accent, the guy that was interviewing him.
Yeah, it was Ukrainian.
Okay, well, then I'm
the Ukrainians, they sound kind of like vampires when they talk, that accent.
Well, I was thinking of the Iran motive.
Nah, it looks to me it's Ukrainian. That doesn't mean Iran's not. They always want to blame Iran. Let me tell you, Iran, they're monsters. Don't get me wrong. Okay, they fund all the Hamas and all that stuff, and they really hate Trump because he took out the general Soleimani, that was the general in charge of all the global Islamic terrorism. I get it, but Iran is also kind of a boogeyman. This was not Iran. This is, that wasn't the first assassination attempt when they shot him. Wasn't that after the first debate? He does these debates, and then they shoot at him.
This is bad. This is about the worst thing that could happen to our country right now. Of all things that could happen, this is actually the worst.
Yeah, and for the life of me, the Miami FBI is in charge of this. The Miami FBI are the ones that broke into Mar-a-Lago with the safecracker and tossed his office and Melania's closet and Barron's room on the documents case. Those are the people that are in charge of investigating this. The people that broke into Mar-a-Lago. That's insane.
I don't think this guy had a death wish. I think he thought he was going to get away, or he would have killed himself. See if this gun even had bullets in it. Now, here's my reasoning on that. Somebody may have just set this guy up, put the gun there, take off.
No, he was aiming. He put the barrel through the chain link. He was gearing up, and I don't know if he had visual on Trump yet, or if somebody told him he was coming by. He was 1 or 2 holes away from President Trump.
Okay. Well, how did the Secret Service miss him? Would you think they're better shots than that?
Well, I don't. We don't know. It's a good question. The Secret Service may not have seen him. They may have they saw the barrel. It's been reported that the Secret Service agent saw the barrel come through the chain link fence. He may not have actually seen the guy, and he fired and wasn't aiming at the guy, and the guy took off. I'm very curious. Now, the sheriff of Palm, I know a lot of guys are hating on the sheriff of Palm Beach, Rick Bradshaw. Rick Bradshaw, in that press conference, he said they flew the witness to identify him. The guy was 20 or 30 minutes away, and Sheriff Bradshaw put the witness on a Palm Beach sheriff helicopter and flew him not too far away to get him identified right away to make sure that was the guy. They knew they had the guy. So you got to give that guy credit. That was pretty cool. He didn't have to do it that way. Okay, so people can lay off Rick Bradshaw a little bit. But I want to know how, and this is what I've not heard. How fast was he driving? Was he driving normal? To me, it seemed rather casual. It looks like they got the license plate by accident from the witness taking a cell phone camera picture of the plate, not the Secret Service drone, as was first reported by Hannity. Okay, that was inaccurate. So it's possible that the guy didn't think he was going to get caught, and that they caught him by accident.
Right. Well, I heard that they have license plate readers, and I think they're behind those signs.
Yeah. But to read the license plate, you got to have the license plate. The license plate. There was a photograph of the license plate taken at the scene when he was leaving by a pedestrian who saw him. It was that the law enforcement did not have the license plate. This witness, it was a man, saw him and took a picture of the license plate and gave it to the sheriff's office. So it was not the Secret Service drone. They got him by accident, maybe. To me, it looks like they got him by accident. That's why I'm so curious, because I'm almost sure I know exactly the spot they got him based on what I saw in the middle of the highway. I drive that road forever. I know it well on 95. It's about 20. They got him about a 20 to 30 minute drive at normal speeds that time of day. Okay, Sunday afternoon around 1:32 from where the golf course is. Was he driving 100 miles an hour to get away, or was he just casually driving with traffic not to stand out? Right?
If you're driving under 80 mile an hour, you're going to stand out up there. I've been up there many times. Or running.
Yeah, but if you're involved in an assassination plot and you're trying to get away, you might be driving about 120 miles an hour. That stands out. All right. Okay. Appreciate the call. I mean, people get into things. No, there's a difference in speed and how you're driving on the road when you're trying to get away, as opposed to blend in. Was he driving with traffic, or was he driving at full speed, weaving in and out of traffic? I haven't heard any of that. I also thought it was interesting. The Martin County Sheriff, who was the first, he had a little press conference on the side of the road. After they got the guy, long after they got the guy, I-95 was still shut down. Were they looking for someone else? Because the original reporting, before we got any details, was that there was a shooting between two individuals when they were going with their gangbanger BS. So was that, were they still looking for someone else? If you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to go back to the phones after the break. And Mike Lindell over the weekend sent me this incredible deal. There's a blowout sale going on right now at MyPillow.com. The original MyPillow, just $14.95. That's right, just $14.95 with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. This is not available to everyone at the MyPillow website. You've got to go to mypillow.com/Kane to see this offer and use our promo code KANE. I know they're making it a little difficult, but And you can buy just one, but you can only buy 10. It's limited to 10. And my wife and I yesterday ordered a bunch, loaded up. And this is the original MyPillow that started it all. It's made in the USA. It comes with a 10-year warranty, and it's $35 off. Just $14.95 with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. It's an incredible deal. Take advantage of it, and this is for a limited time. Callers on hold, stand by. Our number is 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll come back with your calls after our top of the hour break.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and Herring Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the All Year Cooling Weather Center, South Florida's #1 choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Marone from the All Year Cooling Weather Center. Today is Monday, September 16th, 2024, and right now it's 76 degrees outside. As we go throughout the day, though, temperatures are going to reach as high as 91 degrees, with partly cloudy conditions expected throughout the whole day. So make sure you stay cool, stay hydrated, and have a wonderful start to your Monday.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by
Oswald wasn't just married to a Russian. His father-in-law was a Russian general.
Avenue North, your stop and go from Lantana Road up to span the Turnpike North and South for Jupiter, Palm Beach, and West Palm. This traffic update is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, NA, copyright 2024. That's traffic. I'm Dory Don.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Attic Restaurant's comedy and dinner show season is here. Get your tickets now for comedians Roomba Johnny Saturday, September 28th, and Chevy Fowler November 15th and 16th. And don't miss 3-course dinner shows with the Pure Zeppelin Experience October 11th, Let It Be November 8th, Penny Nicks November 22nd, and more. The Paddock is also your best bet for OTV action and football Sundays with over 140 HD TVs and 3 big screens. For more information, go to pbkennelclub.com.
The apparent assassination attempt comes amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on
All year long. Join us for their next great expo in your area.
Coming up, it's the Greater South Florida Chamber's Senior Lifestyle Expo, Wednesday, September 18th from 11 to 3 at the Brennedy at Tradition Senior Living in Port St. Lucie. A day filled with fun and informative activities catered to seniors. The True Oldie scene will be on site from 11
An
to 1
attempt comes
p.m.
amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign.
See a full list of events at GreaterSouthFloridaChamber.com.
Men, just because you get older doesn't mean you have to quit. At the Bio Station, West Del Rey, Dr. Lisa Cortez, expert in hormone replacement therapy, is here to help you return your youth. Hormone replacement therapy is all natural and can restore your hormones to where they were in your 20s. You'll feel younger, have more energy, and even get your sex drive. And for women, hormone replacement pellet therapy can completely stop and reverse the signs and symptoms of menopause. No more mood swings, better sleep, and no more. I'll drop you a text for free consultation today at 561-320-8890. That's 561-320-8890.
So you pronounce it Goomba, right? Goomba. Goomba Johnny, yeah. Okay. And it's the Paddock restaurant, right? Paddock, yeah. Yeah, we'll find out.
Hello, this is Mike at Friendly Tire. I've been in business for 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used tires. I have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now or Boca
All right, hour number 2 has begun. Callers on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show. Of course, we're talking about the second assassination attempt on President Trump. Secret Service fired on the golf course assassin. This is there have only been 2 times in any of our lifetimes when the Secret Service have used their weapons to protect a president off of White House grounds, off of White House property. Both of them are on President Trump in the last 2 months. Pennsylvania, and now down the street from the radio station at the golf club. It's crazy. Secret Service didn't use their weapons when Oswald shot Kennedy. They didn't fire him, and they didn't fire their weapons, well, whoever else was with Oswald in that grassy knoll and wherever else. And they didn't use their weapons, they just drew them when Reagan was shot by Hinckley. By the way, Hinckley's out of jail. He's been out of jail for years. What kind of message does that send? I remember when they released him, it was insane to me. What kind of message does that send to monsters like this guy they got yesterday? Now, a lot of people are saying, why doesn't Trump just hire private security and take care of it? The answer to that, we really don't know, but I can tell you a couple things. Presidents have Secret Service protection, and they just can't say, okay, I'm going to have some extra security on the outside. President Nixon, when he left office, released his Secret Service. It was a big deal. No one had done that before. And he used private security. In fact, I took a tour many years ago of President Nixon's Presidential Museum in California. And they even had on display the official letter that he wrote to the Secret Service releasing them from his protection. So I don't think it's just so easy for him to say, okay, I'm going to hire a bunch of private guys and have them around. He might have to release his entire Secret Service protection. And those guys are federal agents, and with that becomes federal agent authority that private security wouldn't have. So I don't think it's really that easy. And I also don't know if he's able to do that, to release the Secret Service. He's the presidential candidate. He's under severe threat from Iran, too. I don't think that Iran had anything to do with either of these assassination attempts. But he's under severe threat from Iran. So it's just not that easy. Everybody thinks they know everything. You know, if you don't think if Trump could make himself and his family safer, he would do it? Of course he would. I'm not going to do any recapping. Let's just go to the phones. 1-888-465-2631. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Ron from Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Yep. So don't you start to agree with me that Trump is behind all this stuff, and he is?
Oh my goodness.
Well, it's because he had a terrible debate and trying to boost his.
No, that's just stupid.
What do you mean that's stupid? It's like it's constant. Like, oh look, I shot at again. Please,
no,
give me some points.
Yeah, no.
But I just think that he's playing this whole thing too far.
Oh, he set all this up. He got himself shot.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh my goodness, what a dumb thing. Let me. You know, the guy. Okay, in Pennsylvania. Oh, he was never shot. What about the dead guy? Was he shot?
He was shot.
And the 2 wounded, they were shot?
They were shot.
Okay, now you're not going to agree with this because you're just an idiot. I mean, you're brain damaged, or you got a mental disability. I don't even know if I should be talking to you because you're mentally challenged. I mean, I don't even know if it's
so.
Well, most people that are mentally challenged, that are insane, don't realize it. Okay. But in your stupidity, in your Trump derangement stupidity, the idea that Trump, I know you do, I know. The idea that he put himself on a stage and had a guy firing live ammunition his way, that doesn't even make sense. Because you agree that 1 guy got shot, 2 wounded. Why would he put himself on stage with live ammo coming his way? No one would do that. That's crazy. It's unpredictable. It's very risky.
Yeah, but
all right, go see a psychiatrist. Lunatics. Time to play games with idiots. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? By the way, that guy was on hold for 41 minutes for that. 41 minutes, and that's the best he could come up with?
It's sad to see that there's people that crazy in America that are walking around the streets. Anyway, like President Trump said, President Trump's son said, how many lives do you think President Trump has? They got to have a lot more Secret Service protection and protect this guy.
Well, I got to tell you, when I saw the Secret Service guy at the press conference yesterday, he didn't seem very concerned that twice in 2 months their protectee there was an assassination attempt.
This is sad what's going on. The co-conspirators is MSNBC, CNN, the View, the Democrats every damn day they're saying, "Oh, President Trump is evil. He's a threat to democracy. He's a devil." Blah blah blah. Turning people off that like this last caller that are mentally challenged. That give them a little money and whatever you could do to help us out to figure something out. Because President.
No, this is the type of guy. Listen, if they convince these people that he's Hitler, so they think they're saving us. I mean, we've seen this guy get arrested. He didn't look worried in the war at all. He thinks he was doing something good.
Yeah, man. This is it. You get people like that.
He thinks he's like those Valkyrie guys that tried to assassinate Hitler. And they thought they were unsuccessful. They got executed, but they thought he thinks he's like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I said, these people get brainwashed too easily, and I want to know who's backing this guy. That's like
well, his life seemed dedicated to Ukraine. He was in Kiev. I mean, if you or I wanted to go to Kiev, how would we do it? You got to have someone from the government authorize it. And it's not cheap to fly to these war zones either. You've got to get some type of government authorization to enter a war zone as a U.S. citizen. You just can't decide, okay, we're going to Kiev. So how did this happen? He spent a lot of time in Washington. Mike Johnson, what members of Congress and what staff members did he meet with in Washington, if any? This information can be pulled up on a computer. Just put his name in the computer. I'm sure it's all in. They would have to have some type of security check on the guy.
This is going to be really interesting to find out who backed him and where they got the money and how long has he been doing it, what kind of threat has he been. Can't wait to hear all this stuff. And hopefully, if there's a ring going on, they'll figure it out and get rid of the end of it.
All right. Appreciate the call, Doug. Yeah. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning. Tracy from Boca.
Hey, Stacy.
How are you? So my sister-in-law received a text, was on 95 North, 6 blacked out Ford Mustangs, flew by me by 2 marked FHPs, had to be doing 120 miles.
Wait, slow down. You cut out a little bit. Can you start the story over about the sister on 95?
Well, yeah, okay. So then my sister got this text, and she forwarded it to me from her sister-in-law. Was on 95, and 6 blacked out Ford Mustangs flew by me, followed by 2 marked FHP. Had to be doing 120 miles per hour easily. And I was thinking, holy blank, these blank, and these Mustangs are not stopping. And it turns out that the 6 unmarked FHP and 2 marked FPH going north to join a standoff on 95 and 714, which supposedly might be the suspect from the Trump. This was
obviously it was. He was on northbound 95, and this is what I haven't seen any reporting on this. When he left, was he driving 120 or was he driving with traffic? Was he concerned he was going to get caught and was driving like a bat out of hell, or was he just moving with traffic to try to blend in?
I thought you meant when he was on 95, because he was easily going 120.
He was? This person saw the driver? I thought they just saw the highway patrol.
No, yeah, they saw the car.
Okay, I didn't hear this. Okay, so they actually saw the SUV being chased by the FHP. So they saw okay, I didn't hear that part. I just heard the Mustangs, which are the unmarked highway patrol. Okay, so they saw the SUV with the golf resort assassin on 95 northbound, and he was going 120 miles an hour. Okay, was it still in Palm Beach or was it in Martin County?
They were. They live in Palm City, so it was like right at that cusp.
Wow. Okay, so he knew they were. So they were onto him pretty quick because the sheriff said they got the license plate when he entered Martin County, but maybe they got it sooner, and the sheriff just didn't know at the time.
Okay. Yeah, they were right. Right there.
Well, no, that's great. So okay, how did he get so far? Palm City, I'm not familiar with Palm City. Where is that in relation to the county line?
It's not far. It's not far north.
It looks like they got him not far into Martin County.
Right.
Yeah. Right. It was
a small county, not like Palm Beach.
Yeah, it's very small. But I recognize that area where they got him. It's because between the north and southbound, there's a huge area of trees, and I always look at it like, oh, it looks like that's a future site for a rest stop. I always think about that when I drive by there, and I know that spot pretty well. Okay, so we've got a report from someone. It's second or third hand, but that the assassin was in his SUV going about 120 miles an hour on northbound 95 with highway patrol behind him going after him. All right, I appreciate that. Thanks so much. See, it happened locally. We got people here. Boy, it's amazing how connected. The first assassin, Barbara was there behind the president, and, we've got wide reach. All right, our number is 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take a break and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, it's Shannon on the radio with a quick reminder that if you like music by the Stones, the Beatles, the Beach Boys, the Four Seasons, and all those big hits from Motown, this morning, right after 10 a.m., it's all back on the air, right here on South Florida's True Oldies Channel.
Are you feeling safe and secure in your home? Unfortunately, millions of Americans are vulnerable to break-ins every year. But what if you can have peace of mind knowing that your home is protected 24/7? At Sloman's, we understand the importance of home security. That's why we're offering a free home security system with free professional installation. When you use our low-cost central station monitoring, our top-of-the-line systems are designed to detect intruders and alert authorities and give you real-time updates right to your smartphone. And with our state-of-the-art monitoring center, you'll have 24/7 protection from any threat. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your home and family and your valuables with Sloman's comprehensive home security solutions. Call 1-833-283-5050 today to schedule your free installation and start sleeping better tonight. Sloman's, protecting what matters most. Call 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050 now. At Sloman's, we understand the importance of home.
Hey guys, I see a lot of you have been donating to Deborah's GoFundMe. For those of you just tuning in, there's a link in the description of the video, and there's also a link pinned at the top of the chat. Deborah, who is in our YouTube chat pretty much every day, she's called me a few times on the air and asked if I could help and promote her GoFundMe. She's behind on her mortgage. She's a grandmother. She's in a pretty desperate situation. And I've asked her to email it, because people call me about things like that. I have to be able to look over them. And she wasn't able to figure out how to do it. So I got this in the mail Friday. She actually printed it up and sent me a letter with it and mailed it to me here to the radio station. So, yeah. So, I have to make sure things like that are legit, because people contact me with stuff like that all the time. And she's asking for your help. And if you can help her, that's great. And everyone who has, thank you, thank you, thank you. for helping Deborah. She's in a pretty bad situation. If you she tells her story there. If you read through it, she gets into it.
Until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
And now a message from Scott from CutMyKilowatts.com.
This is Scott from CutMyKilowatts.com. I'm back. Dog days of summer are upon us. Your AC is struggling, running constantly, trying to hold the temperature, maybe even failing late afternoon. Your electric bill has gone up, even double. Radiant Barrier is the cure. Stop the heat gain, lowering the temperatures in the attic up to 40 degrees, cutting the FPL bills up to 40%. Dog days of summer sales. Save 50% on Radiant Barrier and insulation removal, rat proofing. We even do AC ducts in the heat of the summer. Act now and get $500 off Radiant Barrier over 2,000 square feet and $1,000 off over 4,000 square feet. Plus a 30% federal tax credit. So call now 954-939-1500 to save big. Call 954-939-1500 and talk to the owner, Scott. It's 954-939-1500 or CutMyKilowatts.com. Estimation on the phone, work done in days, not weeks, easier than ordering a pizza.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM. 9 FM. Hear us in Boca on 95 FM. Fort Lauderdale.
All right, Carlos on hold, stand by. I was listening to the commercial for Angel Water during the break with me, and the guys from Angel Water, they came out to my house on Saturday to test my water. I'm getting the water purification system installed in my house next week sometime. And, when they came to the house, of course, I got the notification there was someone at my door, and I knew they were there, but I waited inside in front of the door until they knocked, because I sometimes I'll do that. I'll see someone there and I'll open the door before they get there to knock, and then sometimes they're like, "Whoa!" They jump back. So I waited for them to knock and then I opened the door. But I knew they were there before they even knocked on the door because of that Sloman's camera. You can get a free doorbell camera from Sloman's. I mean, it might have better security than President Trump. So some guy was around my place with an AK, I'd know about it real quick. I'd get a notification. But you can get a free doorbell camera from Sloman's with the installation of your Sloman's Shield. Give them a call. I'm going to give you the number in just a moment. They're also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. You get an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts. The contacts are for the windows and the doors. A lifetime warranty, a backup battery, and a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Here's the number, 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050. All right, I'm going to go back to the phones. No need to recap. We're talking about the second assassination attempt on President Trump. And remember, this golf game was not on Trump's official schedule. How did this assassin know? How did he know to be there? You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Joe from West Palm.
Yeah, what's up?
They already had Eric Prince put the email out yesterday about the tweet. I don't know if he has them all the time for security, but for the rallies, and that's the only way he's really going to keep safe because Secret Service is dropped.
No, there's when you go to rallies, there are private security at the rallies. And I don't know if those are Eric Prince's people or not, but I wouldn't mess with those guys. Even the women, they're tough. They're like perfect people. They're like they look like the Terminator. If you ever see them.
They have the grayish Navy uniform. They look like MMA guys. Like
the women look like fembots, Amazons. Yeah, you would not mess with these people. But the thing is, See, President Trump may not be, like, I give you an example. Remember when he didn't want to take a salary? He says, I'll take $1 a year. The law wouldn't allow him to do that. So he had to donate it every time he got paid by the government when he was in his first term. Because of the threat against him from Iran, because he's the nominee, because he may not be able to just say, I don't want you guys anymore. Because of the, Nixon signed away his Secret Service protection and went private, but he wasn't under threats like this.
It's insane. I don't know what, it just can't go on. I mean, the normies have to wake up, and we all have to.
Who do you think's behind it?
It's definitely the deep state. It's, First of all, nothing goes on that not the CIA doesn't know about. Right off the bat, CIA is totally involved, and I've been telling people for years, they will not let him back in power. God.
Well, let me tell you, President Trump has survived 2 assassination attempts. Okay, he is. Well, let's just stick with what we know. We know that he survived 2 assassination attempts. He's got God on his side, no doubt about it. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Rich from Coral Springs.
Hey, Rich.
Hey, so really quick, as orchestrated as it seems, an AK-47, ballistically speaking, is a very poor choice at 300 to 500 yards. And so, even if he was that proficient with an AK-47, he would never have his barrel sticking out. So I'm just confused as to...
Well, I'll tell you this. This guy spent a lot of time in Ukraine, this golf course assassin, right? A lot of time in Ukraine. And I remember when the war in Ukraine first started, they had a lot of coverage. They were handing out AK-47s to high school students. High school students in Ukraine, right? So a lot of times the best weapon is the weapon that you know how to use. Like I give you an example, okay? I've got many, many weapons, but my personal protection weapon of choice is always my .38. It's not the best gun I have. It's not accurate. It's got a kick to it like a cannon, but it's the one I'm most used to using and have used the longest. And I've got Glocks and stuff. But, I always worry about jamming and all this stuff. When in a life and death situation, if the .38 is harder to pull the trigger, everything about it. It only has 5 rounds in it, not like 10 or 14. But it's the one I'm going to go to because it's the one I'm most comfortable and best at. So just because there are better weapons to be a sharpshooter, that's not a way to say that this guy was just some lone guy, which I don't buy it. No way.
Yeah, no, I don't buy that he's alone. I'm just...
Well, who do you think was behind him?
There's a lot of things that don't pass this.
Who do you think's behind him?
Deep state for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. This was well orchestrated.
I mean, it's not only how did he know Trump was at the golf course, okay? How did he know Trump was at the golf course? But also, how did he know where to be in the bushes to get a shot? You cannot see the golf course from the street. How did he know where in the bushes to be? I want to know how long he was there. Was he there all day? Was he there 10 minutes? There's a lot of questions here, man.
Absolutely. You have a great day.
All right, take care. Now, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. We've got a call-in scheduled when we get back from the break, but we will go back to the phone calls on the second assassination attempt of President Trump. I'm going to do some recapping because there's some important points that I want to clarify on with this. I've been following it since the first reports came out yesterday afternoon. Our number is toll-free 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. My name's Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back.
Making morning radio great again. You're going to really love it. It's The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning.
He may have, comedians aren't morning people. So sometimes with the comedians, they're not there. that happens. It's happened before with the comedians. So.
As we go throughout the day, though, temperatures are going to be 91 degrees, with partly cloudy conditions expected throughout the whole day. So make sure you stay cool, stay hydrated, and have a wonderful start to your Monday.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
That's up in Lake Worth, a right shoulder is blocked with a crash 95 North, past 10th Avenue North, you're stop and go from Lantana Road, up to speed on the Turnpike North and South to Jupiter Palm Beach.
But if he doesn't make it and they want to reschedule it, they can. It's best not to do it today anyway, but...
Digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, NA, copyright 2024. That's traffic. I'm Dory Don.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Paddock Restaurant's comedy and dinner show season is here. Get your tickets now for comedians Goomba Johnny, Saturday, September 28th, and Jimmy Fallon, November 15th and 16th. And don't miss 3-course dinner shows. Your Zeppelin Experience, October 11th, Lennon P, November 8th, Penny Hicks, November 22nd, and more. Paddock is also your best bet for OTV action and football Sundays with over 140 HD TVs and 3 big screens. For more information, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Celebrating 47 years on the air.
All righty, we're back 32 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. Okay, I want to recap a lot of what we know about what happened yesterday at the second assassination of President Trump, because I think it's important. And, you know, and I will go back to the phones, and all of your thoughts and everything are very much welcome on this, okay? I know everyone's got a lot to say. This is a pretty big deal that happened yesterday. The second time that the Secret Service during any of our lifetimes have used their weapons outside of the White House grounds, and it happened in both times the last 2 months. You know, there was, when I'm sure this will be in the news, Mike, you might want to check, you know, because we may have a call-in calling in for something else, and I just want to make sure. I don't want to take them cold. This will probably be in the news if it's not already. There was another assassination attempt in Florida on Franklin Roosevelt, FDR, when he was president-elect, and it was down in Bayfront in Miami, okay, and I don't know if he had Secret Service protection back then. I don't know if the Secret Service were. Well, I guess we'll reschedule that, Mike. I don't know if the Secret Service were protecting the presidents in 1933 or not. But I want you to think about this. This is a crazy little thing. And, you know, I'm going to do a YouTube video where I go to the site of the FDR assassination attempt and this one, the 2 assassination attempts in Florida, because I know a lot about these. The guy that tried to, he fired shots at FDR at Bayfront in Miami. And a lot of people in Florida know this, and I'm sure it's going to be talked about today and this week because of this. And Roosevelt, he couldn't walk. He was in his car. But do you know that and he didn't hit Roosevelt. Do you know that the guy that shot at Roosevelt and missed in Bayfront, he was executed in the Florida electric chair 1 month after? They didn't waste any time back in 1933, okay? And this guy here, I don't think it's appropriate for him to be in the Palm Beach County Jail, or is he in the local federal jail? I'm not sure which jail. Have we seen a mugshot from him? It looked to me like, from when I was listening to Sheriff Rick Brackshaw, that he was going to be in his custody, but I'm not sure. But I'll tell you this. This guy is, all the time he spent in Ukraine, this is where the Homeland Security Patriot Act comes in. This guy may be a U.S. citizen, but is he an enemy combatant? You know, you're going to see all this if you haven't seen it already. I don't know how much of it's been on television. It's all over the internet all afternoon and evening yesterday. This guy's life was dedicated to recruiting mercenaries to go and fight for Ukraine against Russia. He traveled to Washington to do this, and he traveled to Kiev. I'm not going to say Kiev. Chicken Kiev. It's always been Kiev to me. He's traveled to Kiev to do this. All right? Yes, I do believe the deep state's behind both assassination attempts on President Trump. But what's the Ukrainian involvement? This guy should be held under the Patriot Act. This is not the kind of thing where you get some civil libertarian lawyer and he's got a right to remain silent. This guy, whatever his reasoning was, it was all about Ukraine. Whatever they got him jazzed up on to go and do this yesterday, it was all about Ukraine. He should not be in our local jail. He should not have a lawyer. This is hardcore Patriot Act enemy combatant possibilities here. U.S. citizens can be any enemy combatants. So I want to play this disgusting people on the left. This is Lester Holt. This is how Lester Holt began his evening broadcast yesterday after the second assassination attempt on President Trump.
Today's apparent assassination attempt comes amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail itself. Mr. Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance continue to make baseless claims about Haitian immigrants in Ohio. This weekend, there were new bomb threats in that town. Our Maggie Vespa is in
Columbia. Blah, blah, blah. Our Maggie Vestra is up here spreading propaganda. Thank you, Lester Holt. So Lester Holt is blaming President Trump and J.D. Vance for this assassination attempt. And he even goes on, really, to justify it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
PJ from Broward.
Oh, hey, PJ.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that assassination attempt yesterday was super surreal because, as I told you before, I was earlier that morning. I was reading the Devil's Chessboard listening to it about the CIA, and the thing is both and there's some, you already pointed out, there's the golf course assassin, attempted assassin. There's a lot of parallels there between him and Lee Harvey Oswald. I mean, one goes to Ukraine, the other goes to Russia.
And remember, Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union. So, yeah, you're right.
Exactly. And also, the other thing you pointed out is really important is where does the money come from? Because it's not cheap to fly. You're going to fly. This guy was a construction worker. He's got the money somehow to fly to Warsaw and then go to Ukraine. And who pays his expenses?
And where was he staying here?
Yeah, Hawaii. It's not cheap to live in Hawaii. That's another thing. It's very live in Hawaii. Now the other thing is with Lee Harvey, a lot of people don't realize this. I mean, they sort of avoided this because Alan Dulles was in charge. They called it the Warren Commission. It really should have been called the Dulles Commission. The other guys did almost very little. He was the guy that did all the investigating, and he was like as far as I'm concerned, he's the chief suspect. But Lee Harvey Oswald, before he entered Russia, he stayed in Helsinki, Finland, and he stayed at the most expensive hotel there. I don't know. Nobody seemed to ask at the time, like where does this guy? The guy.
Yeah.
At the time.
And don't forget, and Oswald's wife wasn't just that she was Russian. His father-in-law was a general in the Soviet army at the time. So I mean, and here we have another connection. I believe this was a coordinated effort between our deep state and Ukraine. That's what I believe. This guy was too obsessed with Ukraine, or at least they used Ukraine to get him to do it.
Yeah, because they know that Trump will very quickly end the war.
Well, doesn't everyone want the war to end?
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, that's the thing. That was one of the stupidest questions at the debate. He says, "Do you want Ukraine to win this war? How about just ending the war?"
They're not going to conquer Russia. Ukraine is not going to conquer Russia, okay? Russia is not going to fall and be under Zelensky rule. I don't know what their definition of winning is. All you can have is a peace agreement. That's the only thing you can do.
Me is like a month after that war started, both sides came to an agreement. Ukraine and Russia. They said, "Hey, this is great. We'll end the war. We agree." And then they sent that idiot Boris Johnson there. Says no.
Yeah.
To do that.
So let's just get down to it. I mean, who do you think was behind this, PJ? If you were to guess.
CIA.
Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
I was texting, the education system, I hate to say this, speaking of the CIA, the education system is really kind of lousy because my niece is 15 years old in high school, so I texted her. I says, I know who's behind this. She says, who? She says, I said, it's a 3-letter organization. She says, who? I says, I'll give you a hint. The first letter C, the last letter's A.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And PJ, listen, when Trump leaves Mar-a-Lago, you don't know where he's going. He could be going to his plane and going to a private fundraiser. He could be golfing. It was Sunday. He could have been going to his church. That's down the street. He could have been going to all kinds of places. So, not only did he know he was there, okay, a place that was not on his official schedule, somehow he was able to cross the street with a scoped up AK-47 in this other gear and find the perfect place to get a shot. There's no doubt about it. There was a wide-ranging plot. And I'm not falling for this Iran boogeyman thing. If this were Iran and they did that, it would have been there would have been much more going on, okay, than this.
And you know what? They didn't figure on a Good Samaritan taking a photo of the guy's license plate. That messed up their plans.
Well, Hannity, yes. Hannity was on Fox, and of course, the first part of his report is how he was invited to play golf, but turned it down. But he said he had spoken to President Trump, and President Trump told him they got the car ID from a drone. Now we know that they gave false information to President Trump. They didn't identify it from the drone. A witness. They didn't want President Trump to know that a local witness got the car's license plate. I thought that was so whoever was briefing President Trump lied to him yesterday.
Now I'm worried they're going to. Now that they got the guy in jail, I'm worried they're going to try to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. It's a good thought. All right, PJ, appreciate the call. Good points. We'll take our break. Our number is 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I want to talk to you guys about Dr. Appleton and his laser wave pain treatment. Dr. Appleton's amazing. He's amazing. He's rid me of pain 5 times. You've heard how much he's rid our listeners of their pain through some of the commercials we're running. His laser away pain treatment works, people. It works. And I know it works because he's rid me of pain 5 times. But it works because it fixes the problem that is causing you the pain. It repairs what the pain is a signal from your body that something is not right. It's broken. It's damaged. And you're injured. The laser wave pain treatment repairs the injury. That's why the pain doesn't come back. He rid me of pain the first time in my knee over 2 years ago. Gone. After 2 treatments, and it has not returned. In fact, none of the pain that he's treated me for has returned. It's all gone because his laser wave pain treatment repaired the damage. Give Dr. Appleton a call. Remember, appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
When it comes to dental, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to call.
Yeah.
Half the time they don't, because the comedians are not morning people; they're nighttime guys.
Probably do like late night stuff, and then probably.
So it's no big deal. I just don't want to take them live, but I won't,
Let Mike know. He said he'll let the...
Yeah, it's no problem. They can reschedule. I don't care if they want to reschedule. They can reschedule it. It's not for a while. It's on the 28th. Wow.
Attention seniors, are you not happy with your current Medicare plan? If not, give Debbie at I Will Advisors a call. 954-753-8080. That's 954-753-8080. There are 5-star rated plans that you can enroll in the middle of the year. That's right, you don't have to wait for open enrollment. Debbie and her family have been taking care of Steve Kane Show listeners since 1993. Debbie even handles Steve Kane's Medicare. So if you're not happy with your current Medicare plan, give Debbie a call right now and go over the options. 954-753-8080. Debbie can help you no matter where you're located in the state of Florida. 954-753-8080.
We're supposed to have one of the comedians playing at one of the advertisers of the radio station call in today to promote the event, but he didn't call in. That's what I was talking to Mike about.
It's still margarita season aboard Margaritaville at Sea, where it's always 5 o'clock and the good times never end. And right now, you get triple the savings when you book your next award-winning getaway. First, you're saving 40% on all cruise fares. Second, your kids are sailing for free. And third, you're earning up to $400 in free onboard credit to upgrade your escape with specialty dining, spa treatment, and of course the best margaritas at sea. Sail away from Palm Beach or Tampa Bay and stack your savings when you book today at margaritavilleatsea.com.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we're back. 49 minutes after the hour. Call us on hold, stand by. Of course, we're talking about the second assassination. I can't believe we're talking about this. Second assassination attempt on President Trump. Is there anyone who doesn't think that the deep state's behind these assassinations? You Democrats out there, do you still think Kamala is ahead in these polls? Did she win the debate? If she won the debate and was ahead in the polls, would this have happened yesterday? I don't think so. I heard some reports from people that talked to Eric yesterday, Eric Trump, and they said he was really choked up. They're scared. Imagine. And you look at the reaction of these leftists in response to it. Disgusting people. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Hey, hello?
Yes.
Hey, I don't even know if I was live. I was just, it's like, I don't know if it's like citizens arrest don't matter, treason, and all this stuff going on. It's like, I'm trying to figure out why we can't just like kind of start a murders.
Well, no, there is no. That's appreciate the call. That is not true. You know, when this is really amazing, what's going on here. Okay. By the way, Mike, yeah. What's going on here is really amazing, because what happened is when the story broke yesterday, and then he was identified. It didn't take long. But conservative internet sleuths started piecing together everything. And about 99% of what I've shared today on this story comes from citizen journalists that are just following on social media what's going on. Okay. And so, no, there are people investigating, and things are being taken care of, and it's amazing. If Elon Musk had not bought Twitter and turned it into X, all these things I've been talking about today, we would not have known, because it would have been banished. They wouldn't have allowed it. They would have shut it down. Now, if you're on hold, guys, stand by. We're going to take a little bit of a break here, and we're going to talk to Goomba Johnny, who is appearing at the Palm Beach Kennel Club for one night only on September 28th. Goomba Johnny, good morning. I'm doing all right. You know, I was a little when they came to me and asked me to interview you. I had a concern. I'm going to run it by you. I asked them about it, and they said, "I don't know. You got to ask Johnny." So I'm going to ask you. Now, of course, you're a very well-known and famous comedian. And by the way, I have seen your act, and you're funny as hell. I want to tell you. Okay, and I wouldn't say that if it were not true. Sometimes they'll ask me to promote comedians, and either I know their act, or I'll go and look, and I can't interview them because I can't tell you they're funny when they're not. But you're a funny guy. But I'm not Italian, so here's my question: as a non-Italian, can I call somebody Goomba Johnny? Is Goomba derogatory if you're not Italian?
No, actually it's a term of endearment, best friend, godfather. It's a American slang because it's spelled and pronounced with a C in Italy. Goomba and Gumata, and the male and female version of it. And people would come over and from Italy to the United States, and if they introduced somebody that was from the same town as them, they would say, "This is my Kumba," or he's, the godfather of my son, or, whatever, somebody close to me. It became I guess a negative. There was a negative connotation in it due to the way it was portrayed in movies and stuff like that.
Okay.
Among Italian Americans, it's not.
Okay, well, I'm not Italian. That's why okay, so it's cool. I'm not going to get in trouble with the Italian Anti-Defamation League by calling you Goomba Johnny. That's a good thing to know, because I don't want to get in trouble with them. you know what I'm talking about. He knows. We don't have to say anymore. Okay, now you're appearing at the Palm Beach Kennel Club at the Paddock Restaurant, and like I said, I have seen your act. You are incredibly, incredibly funny, and I heard an interview with you. Which, by the way, you guys can look this up online, with the great actor Chaz Palminteri, and who's one of the great American actors of all time. And he has a show which I listen to quite regularly, and he's very, very good. He does a lot of interviews. He's a very interesting guy. And you told Chaz Palminteri, I thought, just a fascinating story that I think the audience would be interested in. As an Italian, you got an Italian wife, and about your wife's very famous lasagna.
My wife is famous for her lasagna, and the story came about because we had my wife does not she's not a woman that cooks often. So we do a lot of eating out, a lot of Uber Eats, and it's okay. I mean, we have no children, but sometimes it becomes a little odd when you have people over your house for dinner. and we had a couple over for dinner, and my wife prepared lasagna.
This
is
funny. Listen to this.
When I mean prepared, it's prepared. That means somebody else prepared it. And in the middle of the meal, my friend's wife said, "This is the best lasagna I've ever eaten. I have to have the recipe." And I said, "Well, allow me to interrupt. Yes, it is a recipe. It comes from Italy. My wife is from a very small town in Italy called Costco."
Yes.
And
that's pretty funny. Yeah.
Costco lasagna, and they were raving about it, and it was
yeah
funny. So
that is pretty funny.
My act.
Oh, really? Yeah, it was pretty funny. I heard you tell that story to Child's Momentary. It cracks me up. Yeah, my wife's Italian, and she cooks about as much as yours. So, I thought when I married an Italian woman, I was going to have it made. But, I'm an Uber Eats guy, too. Now, you do a lot of things, though. You stand up and all of that. But I saw that you do private roast. I guess, like, you'll get hired out, to, like the corporate circuit. A lot of comedians do. And you get hired to do roast. And I'm curious about that because we're all familiar with the great roast, the Dean Martin roast and all that stuff. Roasting a celebrity is pretty easy because they're used to having people take jabs at them, and everybody knows everything about them. I remember once I saw a roast a couple years ago, and Pamela Anderson was there, and one of the comics came up and said, "Oh yeah, Pamela Anderson has a new VH1 special. It's called I F'd the 80s," although she said the real word. It's easy because everybody knows she's a skank. But when you're roasting some guy that runs a Wall Street hedge fund or owns a skyscraper in Manhattan, how do you prepare for that? How do you know what to say to roast him, and how do you know how far you can push it without getting in trouble?
It's pretty funny because I had one incident that is very, very typical. I won a contest for roasting at the Friars Club when the Friars Club was open, and after I won that contest, I got a lot of work, a lot of private work. A lot of people were asking me, and what happens is you'll get the job, and then they will give you a little dossier about the person that you're roasting. You know what I mean? The friends are more than cooperative. The idiosyncrasies of that person, and whatever they want to mention, embarrassing habits, and so on and so forth. So one of the problems is when you do that, as opposed to like a professional roast. Sometimes this particular roast had to go to Atlantic City, and it was in a private room. And by the time I got there were 16 guys that were drunk with strippers sitting on them.
Oh.
And I, and these guys are huge real estate magnates in New York City, and I'm sitting there with, 45 minutes of prepared material, and it was really difficult. And what's funny is, on the way home, I called up Jeffrey Ross, who is the king.
Oh yes, he is. He sure is.
I called up Jeff, and I told him what happened, and he says, "Johnny, the same thing happens to me." He goes, "Because it's not the field that you're used to playing on."
Yeah.
He goes, and it's not perfect. He goes, "What did you do?" I said, "I just put my head down, went through the material, and they liked what they liked, and I kind of went with the flow. What was going on in the
yeah.
That's all you can do."
Yeah, that's a tough crowd. Well, listen, Goomba Johnny is performing at the Paddock Restaurant at the Palm Beach Kennel Club on September 28th for one night only. And when I tell you this guy's funny, he's really funny. I mean, if you look him up online, you'll see what I'm talking about. You can get tickets and more information online at pbkennelclub.com. That's pbkennelclub.com. All right, Goomba Johnny, I appreciate the time, and we'll talk again sometime. That's right. Take care. And I'm not kidding. They've asked me to interview comedians that suck, and I'm like, I can't go. I've said people there, they'll never trust me again. But he's a funny guy. All right, 2 hours down. If you're on hold, stand by. Back to the assassination of Trump, part 2, right after this. All right.
choice for same-day AC service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Marone from the All Year Cooling Weather Center. Today is Monday, September 16th, 2024, and right now it's 76 degrees outside. As we go throughout the day, though, temperatures are going to reach as high as 91 degrees, with partly cloudy conditions expected throughout the whole day. So make sure you stay cool, stay hydrated, and have a wonderful start to your Monday.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long.
So Mike called him and they got him on the phone.
Oh,
I'm sure that's what happened.
No, because I texted Mike. I was like, "Oh, we got him." He's like, "Oh, okay, great." So I don't think he.
Oh, really? He just called in late?
He said he was going to contact the Pet Tunnel
Yeah.
to see what's going on, but
Yeah.
he was probably like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, exactly.
This traffic update is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, NA, copyright 2024. That's traffic. I'm Dory Don.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Paddock Restaurant's comedy and dinner show season is here. Get your tickets now for comedians Goomba Johnny Saturday, September 28th, and Jimmy Fallon November 15th and 16th. And don't miss three-course dinner shows with the Pure Zeppelin Experience October 11th, Let It Be November 8th, Penny Nicks November 22nd, and more. The Paddock is also your best bet for OTV action and football Sundays with over 140 HD TVs and 3 big screens. For more information, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Brian Craig here. When it comes time to get my blood work done, I don't have time to spend hours in the doctor's office or waiting hours for letters to the house. That's why I'm doing any access to...
Now, guys, everyone who's donated to Deborah's GoFundMe, thank you, thank you, thank you. Quite a few of you have donated, I see already, and that's awesome. Deborah is in the chat pretty much every day. She's a grandmother. She's behind on her mortgage, and what she's trying to do is save her house. And I mentioned earlier, she had called me on the air a couple times to promote her GoFundMe, but she didn't know how to tell me to look at it, and she couldn't, for some reason, she couldn't figure out how to email it to me. And, you know, I have to do due diligence before I send send you guys there. So she went to the trouble, which is, it really shows you the situation she's in. She printed it up and then mailed it to me. And, which was just amazing that she did that. And, so there it is. And those of you that, the link is pinned to the top of the live chat, but it's also in the description of the video. It just says, help Deborah with the link. It's in the video description as well as pinned to the chat. And she tells the whole situation. If you'd like to read it first. And those of you that have helped Deborah this morning, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's very generous of you.
Stop the heat gain, lowering the temperatures in the attic up to 40 degrees, cutting the FPL bills up to 40%. Dog days of summer sales, save 50% on radiant barrier and insulation removal, rat proofing. We even do AC ducts in the heat.
Well, that's okay. Don't donate if you can't. Okay? Do not donate unless you can. Please.
Plus a 30% federal tax credit. So call now 954-939-1500 to save big. Call 954-939-1500 and talk to the owner Scott. It's 954-939-1500 or cutmykilowatts.com. Estimates given on the phone, work done in days, not weeks. Easier than ordering a pizza.
And by the way, it's not Deborah the moderator. It's another Deborah.
Symptoms, call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show.
All right. Hour number 3 has begun. I'm Brian. Our number 1-888-465-2631. We're talking about the second assassination attempt in 2 months on the great President Trump. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Shawna in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
I called earlier. I apologize. I kind of got cut off. It's like, damn, I lost my point.
Yes.
So all this, like,
It's one call per day. It calls in with hangups. That's why one call per day. Okay, you can call back tomorrow. And I'll tell you this this second assassination attempt. I haven't heard anyone who thinks that the deep state was not behind this. I haven't heard anyone say that. Not just here. I'm talking about anywhere, really. That's talked about it. Have you? No. Why does everyone think that? Exactly. And, the Democrats, this has messed them up big time with their news cycle. They had a big plan. They had two things that they were going to be running with today. One was this very bizarre interview with Dana Bash where she got her clock cleaned by J.D. Vance over the Haitian thing in Ohio. And so they were going to run with this whole anti-Haitian thing in Ohio. But again, and J.D. Vance cleaned Dana Bash's clock. And the other thing, this Laura Loomer story, Bill Maher, and I know for a fact this is not true, okay? But Bill Maher started this on Friday, and it started to pick up Saturday and Sunday until the second assassination attempt. But Bill Maher has been accusing Trump of having an affair with Laura Loomer. And I know 100% that is not true, okay? And in fact, Loomer immediately went on Twitter and started talking about defamation case against Bill Maher for that. It is 1,000% untrue. But they had those two stories that they were planning on starting the news cycle because J.D. Vance went on the Sunday shows yesterday and they were going all over him about the Haitians in Ohio and then the Loomer stories about the curry and everything. And they're trying to use it because his wife's Indian and all this stuff. And he did very well, but they were going to go, that was going to be the news cycle. And they really thought they had the beginnings of some scandal here. And now those stories, no one cares. No one's going to cover them. And all their buildup over the weekend was over. And I'm glad the Laura Loomer stories. This is this attack on Loomer. To put this in context, in the last week to 10 days or so, maybe 2 weeks, there have been 4 major conservative online influencers that have had stains against them that they're trying to take down. Loomer, of course, the most recent. But that Russian story with Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson, and Tim Pool from a week or two ago. Okay? Now, of course, all of these guys are still on the air, including Loomer, and they're still around. But Dave Rubin, Tim Pool, and Benny Johnson, no matter what anyone says, okay, they still have that Russian money thing over their head. And Loomer, I don't know what's going to happen. If Trump's going to drop her or not, I don't know. But they were about to start a sex scandal between the two of them this week. It was disgusting. In fact, CNN did a story on it. And they used a Photoshop image. This was, was this during Anderson? I think it was during Anderson Cooper. They, when Trump and Loomer, they connected at a golf tournament. If you remember, Laura Loomer went to a golf tournament at Bedminster. Trump saw her and invited her in with the family, by the way. And there's a photograph of the two of them talking from behind. And CNN showed the still photo. It was photoshopped. They had President Trump's body morbidly obese. It was about 4 or 5 times its actual size, if not more. I couldn't believe CNN ran with it. When I first saw it, I thought it was a joke. I couldn't believe it, but they actually ran with it. So they planned on starting today with a racist thing with Haiti and then a sex scandal with Loomer and Trump, which I promise you is not true. I know for a fact it's not true. Okay? I'm not going to tell you how I know, but I believe you can take my word for it. I told my wife how I know, but I'm not going to tell you. But I know for a fact it's not true, regardless of what Bill Maher and CNN and the others are saying. And when you watch the coverage on television of the second assassination attempt on President Trump, you can see in the faces of the anchors how pissed off they are. One, that he wasn't successful, and two, that it makes him more sympathetic. You know, the things they've been doing to Trump are unbelievable. I saw this guy online over the weekend who is not political. He is not even registered to vote. He's a photographer and filmmaker. And because he's a filmmaker and a professional photographer, he knows everything about lighting. And he went through the debate and how they used special glamour lighting both on Kamala Harris and her sorority sister and David Muir, and on Trump, they use lighting to give him shadows and to make him look evil. And this guy is not even registered to vote. He's just a professional photographer and a professional filmmaker. And he recreated the lighting that they used for the debate, and he did it on himself. And he flips a switch. He looks like an evil guy. He flips the switch again, and he just looks like, butter wouldn't melt in his mouth. What they did and then he went through the interview that Dana Bash did with J.D. Vance when they were in the room together looking at each other. They did the same thing with the lighting on that interview, where they gave her the special glamour lighting and gave J.D. Vance the evil shadow lighting. And it seems minor, but it's somewhat subliminal. I remember they did this with John McCain in 2008. They did it with Annie Leibovitz? Annie Leibovitz did a photo spread, I think it was for Vanity Fair. And she took these bizarre photos from the ground looking up with all these shadows. He looked like Satan. They were taking pictures from the depths of hell. I'm not exaggerating. Any of you remember this? They did a similar thing. They took some pictures with Sarah Palin and decided to not Photoshop them like they do everybody else, right? And she looked awful because they knew people thought she was hot. For someone running for vice president, she was good looking. So they wanted to take that away from her, so they did it. So the Democrats have a history of this. They are in desperate mode right now. A bunch of new polls, I might go through some of them, if not today, tomorrow, but a bunch of new polls came out on Friday and Saturday. In particular, Nate Silver, who's the gold standard. And not only is Trump ahead, he's ahead by a lot. I mean a lot. Okay? The debate has completely backfired on them. In fact, I was going to bring this up on the show, but Richie beat me to it. It's been reported that the ABC whistleblower's affidavit about how the questions were given in advance and how they agreed to fact-check Trump and not Kamala, that affidavit was given and signed before the event, before the debate. Before the debate. That's huge. Huge story. So it's all backfired on them. Kamala did an interview on the local news over the weekend. It was the most disastrous interview you've ever seen with a presidential nominee before. She looked really bad. It wasn't an interview where the guy was trying to set her up. He was asking her very fair, soft questions. But when she doesn't have the script, she doesn't know what to say. And she sounded like an idiot. She really sounded bad. It was a brutal interview. So you put all these things together, and it leads to Sunday. An act of desperation by the Never Trumpers. And I'm looking at the CNN website. What we know about the apparent assassination attempt on Trump. Apparent assassination attempt. Why did they throw apparent in there? Exactly. All right, we're going to take our first break of the third hour. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Our number, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, Scott Shannon with a subtle reminder that I'm back on the air this morning right after 10 a.m. with more of your favorite oldies on South Florida's True Oldies channel.
Hey, my True Oldies listeners, John Trish here with some intelligence for your retirement this time. When you're looking for a retirement advisor, you know trust and experience are two big qualities to look for. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both of these. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, I want you to give local expert Joe Thomas a call. Here's the number.
Where it's very clear. Look, what I was in Ukraine, in Lviv, and then went down to.
Democracy since the Civil War.
JupiterJoe.com. That's JupiterJoe.com. Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. I am pleased to say our relationship with the Steve Kane Show and the show's listeners keeps getting stronger and stronger. The Steve Kane Show listeners are truly the best customers we have ever had. They are courteous, intelligent, honest, and quite a joy to work with. We have completed thousands of projects for the listeners, from repairs, single-family homes, large HOA complexes, and churches, with great success, and every one of those customers are like family. We have installed all kinds of roofs, from asphalt shingles, clay, and concrete tile, standing metal seam, slate tile, and flat roof systems. So come on, and let our family take care of your family. Call me on my cell at 954-604-4602, or find us on the web at laportacontracting.com. The number again is 954-604-4602.
The Greater South Florida Chamber of Commerce has fantastic free-to-attend events all year long. Join us for their next great expo in your area.
Coming up, it's the Greater South Florida Chamber's Senior Lifestyle Expo, Wednesday, September 18th from 11 to 3 at the Brennedy at Tradition Senior Living in Port St. Lucie. A day filled with fun and informative activities catered to seniors. The True Oldies team will be on site from 11 to 1, giving away a free cruise for two.
Yep.
Come say hi.
Learn more and see a full list of events at GreaterSouthFloridaChamber.com.
Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire and Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road, because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world.
All right, callers on hold standby, 18 minutes after the hour. I want to talk about Game Day Men's Health and my formerly low testosterone, which is now at normal levels like I was when I was in my 20s. How old are you, Mike? 20 what? 28. My testosterone's probably higher than yours now, back to normal. And it's really amazing. And, you know, on Friday's show, I was telling you, I could tell I lost weight because I put on my Apple Watch. First time I wore it in like a couple weeks, and I had to make it tighter than I normally do just to stay on my wrist. And I went over to Game Day Men's Health right after the show on Friday. They're right across the hall. And I told them, I was telling them this, and they said to me, well, you know, when your testosterone is restored to normal levels, it does more than just restore your sex drive and, you know, with the erections and all that stuff and help with everything. It also speeds up your metabolism, because when you have low testosterone, your metabolism is so low, you're losing weight. And my wife told me that, and this is amazing, I have not changed my diet at all, okay? Remember I told Goomba Johnny, you know, I'm a DoorDash guy. I mean, that's it, you know? So I've been eating the same thing. I haven't changed my diet at all. And my wife told me that I'm, not only am I never weigh myself. I haven't weighed myself in years, okay? So I don't know what I weigh. But she told me she could tell I'm losing weight in my stomach, and I'm getting definition. I'm gaining definition. I know maybe getting for the she's gay. I'll say gain. I don't know if she said gaining or getting. I don't know. The gaining sounds more positive. Probably getting. But she says I'm getting definition on my side. She could tell her I'm losing weight. It's absolutely amazing. So listen, go see them at Game Day Men's Health. Okay, it's life changing, and I can tell the difference in my life so much. I don't have those midday crashes. I've got lots of energy, and I think that you guys can tell. I think it was 3 weeks ago tomorrow that I started my testosterone treatment with Game Day Men's Health, and I'm sure you can tell the difference in the show. Since I've started, because I was having a really tough time. I was really foggy brain, not feeling well. I was having a difficult time. I didn't know what was going on. I really didn't. I was really getting worried, and I found out what it is: low testosterone. Here's their number: 561-355-5341. 561-355-5341. That's 561-355-5341. All right, let's go back to the phones. We're talking about the second assassination attempt on our great President Donald Trump. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
How you doing?
All right. How are you?
Let me say this, Craig. I'm a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
First election and the second election. Not because of Trump himself, his persona, because he was the best man for the job. Let me say this, and I'm going to get off here because it makes this real quick.
No getting off. I want to respond to what you say, maybe, so stick with me for that. Depends on what you say, but,
What I can understand is, when he ran for office the first time, nobody tried to... Second time he ran, nobody tried to... Now he is the third time he's running for president, and all of a sudden, somebody want to assassinate.
Twice they've tried, yeah.
What I can't understand is that if it wasn't enough, it was at the rally. If it wasn't enough at his golf course, what are we going to do with it now? Man, this man got at the end of the day, this man got a wife, he got grandkids, he got a grown son, and they are worried about their father.
And let me tell you something. Why do you think this happened yet? Who do you think was behind this yesterday? You think there was just some lone lunatic that did it?
No, sir. I'm gonna explain to you like this, without saying a word. You can have the same guy that like the same girl, two guys like the same girl want to take them out, but then one of the guys wants this guy out the way because they're friends. Well, he finally does it. And then he finally get the girl, and then he find out she still don't want it. What I'm saying is that everybody able to go around and shake hands and smile and go to these engagements and not get shot at. Trump do it, bullets coming from it.
Yeah.
To tell you everything.
All right, I appreciate the call. And I want to tell you guys, after the first assassination attempt, remember it was on a Saturday, we did a special radio show that Saturday night. And after I got off the air, I went to Mar-a-Lago, and I did a live stream on YouTube, just because, President Trump wasn't even here, but I wanted to go. A lot of other people did, too. It was kind of like I don't know, a lot of us went there, just random. We didn't know each other. And I had not gone back. And I told you guys I'm not going back. And the reason I'm not going back, at least not to make any YouTube videos like I've been doing for years at Mar-a-Lago, is because they've increased the security a lot. And I don't want to show people the security. I don't think President Trump wants us to either, right? And when I say us, I don't mean the royal we, okay? I mean like anybody. I don't think he wants people showing. They have increased security a lot around him. All of a sudden, it's all loose over here at the golf course? I don't think so. I don't think so. And thank the Lord for Elon Musk, because if Elon Musk had not bought Twitter, none of this stuff we would know about. They would have suppressed it all instantly. This guy has spent the last couple of years doing nothing but trying to recruit mercenaries for Ukraine. He's traveled to Ukraine. I still don't know where he was going. I don't know whose car that was. I don't know where he was staying here. I still don't know where he was parked over there. Has anybody in the press told us? I don't know when he got there. They have that area, it's just south of the airport. There are traffic cameras everywhere How many of you have gotten tickets from the traffic cams over in those areas? And I'll tell you another thing. There's no one could convince me that they do not already know how long he was there. And wherever he parked, across the street, down the street, he didn't park on the road. They keep implying that he had his car there waiting. There's not parking there. If he would have parked his car on the road, he would have been blocking an entire lane of traffic. He would have gotten run off by the deputies over there, okay? So how far away was his car? How did he walk across the street with an AK-47? I don't care what it was in. It still looks like a rifle. And there's no one could convince me in that area that there's not camera footage of that. They have cameras all over there in that area. They have cameras coming and going, too. Just the city or the county, whoever oversees those traffic cameras. There's cameras everywhere. Go look at the lights. Look up. You'll see the cameras going from every direction. It's not just for the, running the red lights. It's for accidents and such. They know when he went there. They know how long he was there. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Yep, you're on the air.
Oh, hey, it's Joan from Tampa Bay.
Hey, Joan.
I'm wondering who let it slip out because this was not on his itinerary. I guess it sounds like his golf buddies gave him a call up in the morning and said, let's do a round. Who do you think slipped this information to this crazy person? The Secret Service or... Look,
there's no way to know. I mean, a lot of people know, but no, it wasn't on his official schedule. So the Secret Service have to know, the police have to know, but that means a lot of people know. But not something that a layman could get their hands on. People knew in Washington. People knew with the local police department here. A lot of people knew. Sean Hannity knew. He keeps telling you how he was invited and turned it down. So how many people did Hannity tell he got invited? And other, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Invited that morning, Hannity.
Yes. Yeah.
So maybe Trump, maybe they gave him a call up. Hey, let's do a round, and he said, "Okay, what time is tea time?" And
yeah, it's been reported that it was a last minute thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a leak either in Secret Service or...
A leak, or, and I don't know if I'd call it a leak, there's some coordination going on with someone. There's a plot here. And, that golf course, I'm sure you've seen, if you haven't seen it, you'll see it on TV. You cannot see the golf course from the road. It is hidden by all those trees, okay? You can't see it. So how the hell would you know where on those bushes to go and sit and hide and wait for him to come along? How would you be able to figure that out on at the last minute at a place that you didn't know he was going to be at?
South Florida. In fact, I went to FAU.
Oh, me too. All right, we're alumni.
Did they still have the rat there when you went there? My age was 18 when I went.
Oh my goodness, 18? That was a long time ago. But what year was that? 18 what?
No, 9.
I know. Up until the drinking age in Florida was 19 until like 80 something. I remember it was 19. Yeah. They had that whole thing that, they were drafting people and sending them to Vietnam, but they couldn't buy a beer because they weren't 21. So they said, if you're old enough to die in Vietnam, you're old enough to order a beer. So they reduced the drinking age to 18 in a lot of places. They raised it before I was old. Well, anyway, regardless of that, how did he know where to be on that fence line and wait for the president? Come on.
Yeah, there is some kind of thing going on because, I mean, it was a last-minute thing that he agreed upon.
Mm-hmm. That's right. All right, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our bottom of the hour break and be right back.
Making morning radio great. You're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning
If you're on hold, hang in there, guys.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Marone from the All Year Cooling Weather Center. Today is Monday, September 16th, 2024, and right now it's 76 degrees outside. As we go throughout the day, though, temperatures going to reach as high as 91 degrees, with partly cloudy conditions expected throughout the whole day. So make sure you stay cool, stay hydrated, and have a wonderful start to your Monday.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same-day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Stop and go delays 95 North between Hypo Luxor Road and 10th Avenue North. A road closure in West Palm Summit Boulevard East and West between Kirk Road and South Commerce Avenue. This traffic update is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows to start fall projects, you need reliable outdoor power equipment from Ego. Get your choice of a select 56-volt blower or chainsaw for $249. Lowe's knows home improvement, valid for $10 too, while supplies last. Selection varies by location. That's traffic. I'm Dory Don.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Now, hold on. Check one thing. Now, guys, order your copy of Robert Allen Miltenberg's new book, The Sound of Light. It's on Amazon. Free on Kindle Unlimited, but it's available in regular Kindle and paperback just like this. I know a lot of you have ordered this book because some of you have left reviews, and he's told me it's been selling very, very well. So I thank you guys for that. Now, Robert Allen Miltenberg's a regular watcher on YouTube. He was in the chat on Friday, giving it to some of the trolls. So he's a good MAGA guy. And this is a science fiction book, but it's also about politics, and it's also about music. The Sound of Light from Robert Allen Miltenberg. He has 3 books that I promoted for him, and they're all available. When you look this one up, you can see it. He's a very good writer, and I've read all his books.
He released me from my knee pains. I can walk. And this week I went to see him. I had a excruciating pain on my hand, and I had a treatment, and I just want to say.
Also, Angel Water came to my house over the weekend. So, yeah, so.
It really works.
They're going to do it next
I am
week.
pain-free from my hand.
Yeah, they have to look in the area.
I understand he's wonderful.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I highly
yeah.
recommend him, and thank you so much for the recommendation. I'm very
Yeah.
grateful.
Call Dr. Appleton right now and say bye-bye to your pen, too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonColorado.com. Brian Craig here. Our 6th annual cruise is coming up, and you're all invited. This time, we're sailing for 7 nights on Celebrity Cruise Line's newest ship, the Ascent, to Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, and St. Martin. We set sail March 30th. We have private shore excursions, private cocktail parties, group activities. We're going to go to the shows together and much, much more. Call in at Cruise and Travel Depot right now. 561-244-5779.
I know.
561-244-5779. And online at cruisingdepot.com
He thinks
to make
that
your
he,
reservation
put
and
blood
lock
on
in
his
our
face.
private group rate. Nothing comes close to Celebrity
Who would-
Cruises.
who would- I gotta
Have you
come back.
noticed that the water in
This is
Florida
coming back.
is just not that
Yeah,
good?
this is the
It sometimes
recording
has an odor.
spot
It doesn't taste
for
good.
them.
It leaves residue on dishes and appliances. With an Angel Water Purification System, you'll enjoy soft.
Yeah, who would set something up where someone's firing live ammunition at them? That's crazy. You gonna trust them? I wouldn't trust myself.
Plus, give you a
You could get killed doing that.
closest water treatment system. Call Angel Water Purification right now at 561-899-6585 and online angelwater.com.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, they liked it.
The Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, only one opening on the board. Yeah, you know, the recorded commercial for Angel Water you're hearing, they're coming to my house next week to install the system. They tested my water. You get this. I can't believe what I've been drinking. There's a lot of chemicals and stuff in my water, but the chlorine coming out of my faucet that I'm drinking is 3 times the chlorine level of your local public pool. Not the pool in your backyard, of a public pool that they overload with chlorine because, you know, it's filled with people that are doing things in it that the chlorine's to kill stuff. That's what I've been drinking. Oh, my goodness. All right, there's one opening on the board, and of course what we're talking about is the second assassination attempt of President Trump. And I'm here to tell you, that this is the second time in any of our lifetimes that the United States Secret Service have fired their weapons to protect a president off of the White House grounds. And both times have been in the last 2 months with President Trump. This is insanity. This is insanity. Okay? And I know they're going to try to make this guy sound like a crazy man. He wasn't so crazy that the Ukrainians weren't meeting with him. Were they? That's right. That's right. Now, I'd like to hear from some Democrats. We're open for you to call in on this. Do you still think Kamala Harris won the debate? Do you still think Kamala's ahead in the polls? If Kamala won the debate and was ahead in the polls, would they have done this to President Trump yesterday? I don't think so. All right, let's go. I'm going to try to take these calls in the order in which they were received. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. Yeah, this sounds more like as you said, the most craziest time in history, blah, blah, blah. Trump's hanging around with, you got conspiracy theorists, Laura Loomer. You know what I think? I think these guys do act alone. There is no huge military thing, because they would probably get the job done.
Really? So this is interesting. So hold on. So you think? Excuse me. Mike, is the mic working, or is this guy just afraid of questions? So what is your point? That you're a Trump-hating lunatic?
Dog.
No. Oh no. No one wants to have you. No one wants you to continue talking. So you think Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone?
No, I don't.
Really? Who was behind Lee Harvey Oswald then? Who got him to shoot Kennedy?
God, Brian, what do you want to do? Go visit a Oliver Stone movie together?
No. Well, I'm talking to you. Who do you think was behind Oswald? You don't think he worked alone? Who was behind Oswald?
I mean, you got to admit, Cubans and
Cubans?
And
Cubans and mobsters? Cubans and mobsters? Why would Cuba... Oh, CIA. Okay, now you're talking. Why... I know, I could go to another caller that's got half a brain cell and have an interesting conversation and not talk to you. But, okay, so you believe that the government was behind the assassination of President Kennedy. You said CIA, right?
Yeah, the industrial military complex.
It's not... okay, so you believe that the military-industrial complex killed Kennedy to escalate the war in Vietnam. That's what you just said, right?
I'm saying that that's a possibility because we don't know.
Okay. Yeah, we know. Okay, but no, you said it. You believe that the military and... No. We're talking about what you said. You said that you believe that the military-industrial complex killed Kennedy because he was going to pull us out of Vietnam. Well, President Trump has promised to end the war in Ukraine, which is the same thing that Kennedy was promising to do in Vietnam. So why do you think when they promised to do the same thing, take down the military-industrial complex, why do you think they were behind Kennedy and not Trump?
Okay, that's a lot to untangle there.
Not a lot to untangle.
All of it's based on conspiracy, okay, that comes out...
Just because a conspiracy doesn't mean false. A conspiracy can be true.
It's okay.
I can tell. All right, okay. All right, he's got no answers because it doesn't compute. You know, what happens a lot of times to these lunatics I talk to, they practice in front of the mirror, in their car, if they're driving, or in the bathroom if they're at home, and the responses that I give to the reflection aren't the real responses. So things go out better when they rehearse in their mirror. All right, let's go. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Glenn from Mississippi, bro.
Hey, Mississippi. What's up?
Oh, not much. Hey, just talking about that car and the tag. How they found the tag. The guy driving the car. what they do is it's called a tag recognition system. Once a guy took a picture of the vehicle and the tag when he came out of the bushes and took off, he took a picture of the tag.
No. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Okay. You know how many times they've gotten me. I get the toll by plate thing in the mail because I got a new debit card and I can't get it to update on my SunPass for some reason. So I just get the thing by plate. We had at one of our sponsors years ago, their elderly mother went to the casino and they couldn't find her. And they did a silver alert, and they caught her on one of those license plate cameras. And I remember it was amazing. No. But it's not how they got him; it's how they got the license plate number. Right after the shootout. And by the way, has it been reported whether or not this guy fired his weapon at the Secret Service? Because I heard a guy yesterday. Yeah, we don't even know if he fired.
Everything that I saw yesterday on all the reports said that he did not fire. The guy.
I have not heard. No. No. In fact, I'd heard first reports where there were 2 different gunshot heard. But anyway, regardless of that, when this first happened, the first details we got were from Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity was invited to go to that golf game and turned it down. You know, he regrets that now. No. He was invited. He's not good at, people, I suck at golf. Guys ask me to go play golf all the time, and I always say no because I suck, and I'll just make a fool out of myself, Joe Thomas is big into golfing. I said, Joe, if you take me golfing, you're going to lose all respect for me, man. But if President Trump invited me, even though I can't play golf, I'd go along for the ride. You know what I mean? In the golf cart. But anyway, Hannity regrets not going. That would have been his whole thing, Oh, man, he regrets going. Oh, my goodness. But he really screwed. But anyway, the thing about what Hannity said, though. He was on Fox yesterday, first person that had details of what went on. By the time he was on Fox, he had spoken to President Trump 3 times. So President Trump, he spoke to some other people that were there too, but he spoke with President Trump directly on the phone 3 times before he went on Fox yesterday, Sean Hannity. And Sean Hannity said that the president told him that they identified the car from a drone. We now know that's not true. They gave President Trump somebody lied to President Trump because the Palm Beach County Sheriff, Rick Bradshaw, he said that a witness saw him, took a picture of him and the license plate, and they gave the license plate to the deputy. So what that tells me is they got the license plate by mistake. They didn't expect the license plate number. Yeah, they got him by mistake.
You're going the same route I'm going right there.
Mm-hmm.
How did he know that was that he was going to be on that golf course at that time? And he set up those bags with the plates in it. And
he had the backpacks had ceramic tiles in them to use as and he was set up for a gunfight.
Yeah, but he chickened out.
I don't know. He didn't chicken out. He got ID'd. He put his barrel through the chain link. So I don't know if he could see the president yet or not. But the Secret Service man saw the rifle barrel through the chain link. He must have really done what in his pants, that Secret Service guy. That must have been really shocking.
Well, he wasn't expecting them to be up front, doing the toll,
So and here's the other thing. This is the other thing. I'm curious. There's a lot to know here. There were deputies all over the joint. Okay. How did he cross the street, get back to his car after there had been shots fired, and drive away and get to 95? 95 it's close, but it's not right there.
Well, the sheriff said that there wasn't any deputies around.
No, I didn't say there were no deputies around. He said because he's not the sitting president, he has a smaller protection detail. So yeah, no. Let me tell you, okay. when I've been up at Mar-a-Lago, I've had the Secret Service and the deputies roll up on me more than once, okay? They don't mess around. But somehow this guy was able to go over there with an AK, and they have undercover people there. I was over there one day. There was this one guy in full MAGA gear, and the wind blew his shirt blew up, and I could see his waist. He had a pistol on there, and he had magazines. I mean, like, he must have had 10 or 15 magazines around him. He was obviously undercover Fed. You know, so no, this guy, it was, there's something stinks here, and I think they caught him by accident.
Oh yeah, like I said, there's something to
Now I got a call about an hour ago from a woman who said that someone she knows texted her. They saw the chase up I-95, and they said he was being chased by 3 or 4 highway patrol Mustangs. A couple of them were unmarked. They were going about 120 miles an hour. But I want to know how fast he was driving when he left the scene and was heading to 95. Was he driving normal to try to blend in with traffic, or did he speed away? Are you? What, you're not in the bathroom, are you? Was that the sink I just heard? Okay.
I'm feeding my cat.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I figure half the audience in the morning are in the bathroom, but I don't need to know it for sure, you know. Okay. All right. Appreciate the call. Take care, man. Now, we're going to take our last break of the day, and I want to tell you guys there's an incredible new special going on right now at MyPillow.com. The MyPillow that started it all, they're having a blowout sale. Mike Lindell sent this to me over the weekend. You can get the original MyPillow that started it all for just $14.95 with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. And by the way, that is $35 off the original MyPillow, just $14.95 with our promo code Kane. This pillow, of course, is made in the United States and comes with a 10-year warranty. But this special is not open to everyone. You have to go to a very special website. It's mypillow.com/Kane. It's kind of hidden from everybody else. It's not open to everyone, the blowout sale. mypillow.com/Kane, K-A-N-E, and you can get the MyPillow for just $14.95 with our promo code Kane. Now, you can buy just one if you want, but the limit is 10 per customer. All right? So that's a great deal. And remember, free shipping on all orders over $75. All right, it is time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. How are the metals starting the week off, William Youngerman?
Oh, the metals are starting up again this week after ending very strong, hitting new record highs on Friday last week. Trading in a range, gold trading in a range of $2,556 all the way up to $2,585, just $15 away from $2,600. Closing out the week at $25.77.70. That was up $19.40 on Friday. Silver was up 85 cents, closing out the week at $30.69. Platinum was up $17 at $9.94, and palladium gained $18 at $1,052. This morning, we've got gold trading in a range of $2,575 up to $2,590 overnight, and right now at $2,580, up $2.30. Silver up 21 cents at $30.90 the ounce. Platinum down $4 at $9.90, and palladium down $2 at $1,050. So the markets are very strong, and the dollar continues to.
What? You know, I've lost track because these numbers are so incredibly good. What's the record high for gold now?
25.85. Yeah, last week.
Wow. I mean, this is the time. I mean, if so. Now, right now, of course, gold is where it's at. When people come in, what are you recommending people pick up so far as gold now with these prices?
Just about anything, really. But we have it all in stock for immediate delivery. The kangaroos, the eagles, the buffaloes, we've got it all. Bars, 10-ounce gold bars.
Yeah.
Value and I think we're going to see much higher prices.
These numbers are just amazing. Listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. If you can stop in, you should, because when we say that William Youngerman's shop is literally a museum, that is not an understatement, as you'll see as soon as you walk in the door, okay? But you don't have to go in. You could do all your transactions over the phone and call him after 10 o'clock at 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. And, of course, you can find both his phone number and address on his website, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow. Okay, and back to our very busy phones. Only one opening on the board at 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deer.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. How are you today? You know, these attempts on our great former president are, so upsetting and so troubling. The thing about Donald Trump that people don't know enough, as a commander-in-chief, he was fantastic, no doubt about it. And he's the leader that we need now, and there's no doubt about that. But as a consoler-in-chief and reaching out to people that have difficult times, the anecdotal evidence, this guy has a great heart, too, for people. I think it was on Right Side Broadcasting. Rick Harrison was on for a minute talking to the crowd, and he said his son had, I think, overdosed on fentanyl or something and passed away. He got a call from Donald Trump the very next day. To him just to see how he was doing in that. And the anecdotal evidence of all these things, I hear it continue.
Well, just yesterday, just yesterday, we had a guy with an AK-47 try to shoot President Trump dead yesterday, right? And all the reports came when they got him off the course. I guess they took him back to wherever they took him before they left. President Trump, the clubhouse. At the clubhouse, President Trump was looking for his golf partner, Steve. He kept, "Where's Steve? Where's Steve?" He wasn't even concerned. And Steve says, "I'm here, Mr. President." He didn't see him. He was worried about his friend. And listen, they have not tried to kill him twice because he's behind in the polls, and Kamala won the debate.
On the polls, like the cable news tries to make it always a horse race, and it's close. It's fairly close. With the two pollsters I use, and I know you do too, Nate Silver and John McLaughlin. Two pollsters are telling us a different story.
That's right. If Nate Silver's poll had been predicting Kamala Harris winning in a landslide, not Trump, do you think this would have happened on Saturday? Nope. They would have called it off.
It wouldn't have happened at all.
All right, Brian, I got to run. I got a full board, but thanks for the call. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Joellen.
Hey, so I'm just tuning into you, and I woke up to my sister.
Oh, you missed a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and listen. But she said, listen to this. It may sound crazy, but she said, she goes, I think that the Secret Service, it was a big setup just to show them how good of a job that they're doing. I said, oh, my God. I said, I thought the same thing after I saw.
What? That's crazy talk.
I know.
No, that's insane. No. This guy's too hooked up with Ukraine. This was a deep state / Ukrainian plot. That's it. Come on. I mean, that's it. It wasn't no. Mm-mm.
We both thought the same thing without even...
No. Joellen, once you find... what about Rick Bradshaw, our Palm Beach sheriff? What about him?
I'm just saying Rick Bradshaw and the CIA were came out and they were talking about with all the pictures and stuff. And it seems like, they're just trying to pump themselves up.
Well, I think, Rick, everyone's giving the Palm Beach County Sheriff a hard time. I'm not going to do that, and it's not because I live in Palm Beach and I drive through and I don't want to get stopped for speeding all the time. I'm going to give credit to Rick Bradshaw. He is the sheriff of Palm Beach County. He's a Democrat, and what he did, I watched his press conference yesterday, and one thing he said I thought was amazing and impressive. They had the witness, right, the bystander that saw the guy and took the picture of the license plate and saw him leave the bushes. Sheriff Bradshaw flew the witness to the scene up there in Martin County so that witness could identify him in person, not from a photograph or a FaceTime. And I thought that was pretty outside the box thinking of Rick Bradshaw because he wanted the assassin identified immediately, and he flew him there. It's a 20-minute drive. Faster in a police car with the lights on, and he flew him there. So I think Rick Bradshaw did all right. And I know people are giving him a hard time. I think he did a good job yesterday.
I did hear that. I was on the 95 at I got to work at about 2:20, but that's right down the Mar-a-Lago. 5. You would think that traffic would have been backed up for if they were on 95. I don't know.
At what time? What time?
I was on 95 from like 1:30 to 2:20, and I exited.
It probably didn't get back to you at that point because by the time they shut down 95, everything was a little longer. Probably didn't get down to you at that time. All right, Joellen, take care. Thanks for the call. I'm going to try to get to as many of you as I can in the next 4.5 minutes. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, JJ from Matt.
Hey, JJ.
You know, there's a couple of things I never imagined I'd be saying in my lifetime. One of them is second assassination attempt with regard to Trump, let alone the first, but then dogs and cats and the insanity of what's going on. But this is just so crazy. This guy wasn't from Florida, yet he knew where to go. Okay,
and let me tell you, this area where the golf course is, I get confused over there, and I drive there all the time. It's a very confusing area to drive in. Yeah.
You're walking around there with a couple of
and an AK-47 with a scope.
Kind of, you know, that kind of sticks out a little bit. It's like a drag queen in a convent. It sticks out.
That's right. I like that. A drag queen in a convent. I like that. All right, JJ, take care. Thanks for the call. Oh, that's a good one. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Hi, this is Charlotte from Cocoa Beach.
Hey, Charlotte.
And this is a quick comment about the supposed AK weapon. I listened to Megyn Kelly last night. It was fantastic. She had Secret Service guys on there. And if you notice that law enforcement keeps saying AK style, on Megyn Kelly said that it is unlikely is an actual AK due to the scope. He said that would be a very difficult setup, and he said more than likely it's an actual sniper rifle that was used.
Well, I don't know, but I know that I've shot an AK at the gun range that a friend of mine had years ago. It had a scope on it, so I don't know. Maybe I don't know. All right, listen, I'm running short on time. We'll know soon. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Bob.
Hey, 2 things real quick. The sheriff's helicopter, that's based right there down the street. What? In the helicopter with a heat sensor always around when Trump's golfing. I mean, that would be just simple. The other thing is, why is the guy wearing a pink shirt hiding in the bushes?
Yeah, good question.
And what did he park over there at the old Tees Lounge? Is that what he did? You know, I mean, I've been that area. I grew up in that area, and there's cops everywhere. The jail's right there. There's always a cop pulling people over on the motorcycle on Southern. I mean, give me a break. There's police everywhere.
Oh yeah, let me tell you, you make an illegal U-turn or something over there, or they're all over you. They're all over you. You walk around with an AK. You can do whatever you want when you got an AK, I guess. All right.
Across the street.
I think I can't swear to that. Yeah. Hey, listen, I got to run, but thanks for the call. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry to be short with you guys, but we are short on time. But we'll be back tomorrow. Now, I want to tell you guys about Jupiter Joe Thomas. He's going to be stopping by later this week. You want to give him a call. He's offering free phone consultations, Joe Thomas. And that's really an amazing thing to do. He's a top guy in the business. He's been in the retirement planning industry for over 30 years. If you're already retired or plan on retiring at any point in your life, whether it's this Friday or 20 years of Fridays away, Joe Thomas can help you. Talk to him about annuities. All this worrying and anxiety people go through with ups and downs in the stock market. With annuities, your money's safe. You never have to worry about the ups and downs in the stock market. And you can generate income when you're retired. It's an amazing thing, annuities. Give him a call. His number, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. If you've got money sitting in a 401k, give him a call. Turn that money to work for you and an annuity. He could take care of the whole thing, even if it's with a former employer. And by the way, you might have a few 401ks that you've forgotten about with different companies you've worked for over the years. Yeah, you might have some money sitting around that you could turn into an annuity. Give Joe Thomas a call, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, JupiterJoe.com, where you can find his phone number there, JupiterJoe.com. All right, my name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. Great calls today. Hopefully we'll know more than we already know tomorrow. All right, have a great day, everyone. See you then.
WSFS 104.3 H.
All right, guys, listen. If you're new, subscribe, please. If you're already subscribed, please like the video. And everyone who donated to Deborah, thank you so much. The link to Deborah's GoFundMe is pinned at the top of the live chat, but it's also in the description of the video. Thanks so much, guys.